Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Trails in the Sky. I am very excited because this is the final Trails in the Sky stream today. Final Trails in the Sky stream. Unless they remake the remake. Before we start reading all the books, we're going to go talk to everybody else. There's Dorothy. Oh, hey everyone. You won't believe what Niall just said. So it turns out this article might get us a shot at the Pulitzer Prize. Pulitzer? Basically, it's an award given every year to excellence in stuff like journalism, literature, music, that sort of thing. It's pretty much the holy grail for journalists. That's huge. Congrats. Aw, you're too kind. But it's thanks to all of you. You... Hey Estelle, Joshua, you guys did a really great job. Thanks to you, special edition of the on the coup is selling like crazy. Stories about what you all did really got people talking. Real shame the Bracer Guild policy won't let us print your names. If you ever come across any big scoops in the future, you know where to find me. Anybody else? I don't think there's anybody else on this side. What do you mean untidy? It's basically perfectly complete.
Radiant shorts are so dashing. This is cause for celebration.
Hey, it's Hans, Jill, Chloe, and the headmaster. Estelle, Joshua, Chloe, so this is what you were hiding. Yes, I heard from Headmaster Collins that Jill and Hans were here, so I slipped out of the castle to try and find them. You know, Chloe, you're bolder than you look. You know, I really must thank you two for all your help this time. Honestly, I feel I've relied on you both far too much. No way. We totally learned a bunch from you too, Chloe. You taught me all about stuff like kindness and how powerful compassion can be. Sorry, I'm not very good with words, so I'm probably not saying it right. Anyway, I just hope we can keep doing our best together. Estelle, I'm truly glad to have met you two. Hey, Joshua. Hans, what are you doing here? Oh, come on. Is there any way to greet me after all this time? Since you left, lonely nights have been so unbearable. I couldn't stop thinking about you, so I chased you all the way to the royal capital. You haven't changed one bit. Anyway, sounds like you've been through a lot, but I'm glad to see you're doing well. If you ever find yourself back in Rouen, drop by the academy, yeah? Estelle, Joshua. Huh? Jill? It's been forever, right? Chloe told me everything. Sounds like you guys have been making a name for yourselves, huh? As expected of Sir Julius, the Crimson Knight. It's been too long, hasn't it? I brought Jill and Hans along to represent the Academy students at the birthday festival. Alright, so that's Chloe, and then Bill taken care of. Niall, Dorothy, Elna. Murdoch and Klaus were in the Fisherman's Guild.
One more time.
Who's getting drunk?
Delicious.
Aga and Zin. There's Grant and Kurt. Howdy, heroes. Grant, you two did an amazing job. You've gone well beyond the level of junior bracers. Well, it was only because everyone worked together that everything turned out okay. Plus, my dad came to the rescue. We still have a ways to go. Either way, you two really are something else. Well, here's hoping we get the chance to work together again someday. When that day comes, I'll be counting on you. Hey, you two really came through for us during this mess. Considering all you've accomplished, I'd say you're full-fledged senior bracers now. But don't get too comfortable. It's just one step. Now set your sights even higher. Thanks. You feeling better, Kurt? Yeah, as you can see, I'm fit as a fiddle. The only thing that bothers me is that I still can't recall who erased my memories. Royal Tournament, huh? Sounds like a good place to test your skills. Didn't know Immovable Zen participated too. Maybe you should enter next year, Agate. Not a bad idea. But I've got no interest in becoming a spectacle. It's so easy to read. Hey you guys. Oh, Zen. What are you up to now, Zen? Will you be heading back to the Republic soon? Nah, there's not much happening over in the Republic. I'm thinking of hanging around here for a bit. This country has a few young but well-known bracers, you see. I think I might try sparring some of them before heading home. Not like I'm in any hurry. Well-known bracers? Yeah, like Heavy Blade Agate or Silver Streak Sherazade. And then of course, I'd like to test my strength against you two as well. Whoa, that's kind of flattering. I mean, bring it on. Just make sure you go a little easy on us. Anton? Queen's birthday festival, huh? Everybody sure looks like they're having fun. Sure is lively out here today. Can't nap with all this noise. Maybe I'll just wander around for a bit. Crowds here for Her Majesty's birthday festival are huge, alright? I hear the population of the Imperial capital is even bigger. Can you imagine? Anybody at the landing port?
I came to see the birthday festival.
Just want to talk to all the
So busy.
people that I can.
The season's always so busy. I came to see the birthday festival.
I wonder who will be playing the ambassadors in the next game. Done Maybell. Okay, we've done all the mass.
Hi, how bustling.
Cheetah, Agate, Zen. Niall, Dorothy.
Welcome.
Philip. Hey, it's Philip. Ah, Mr. Sterling, Mr. Joshua. Please allow me to extend my deepest apologies for the trouble his grace had caused on account of my shortcomings. Oh yeah, speaking of Duke Dinner, what's he up to? Well, his grace received a stern rebuke from Her Majesty and has been placed under house arrest. He is currently spending his days in deep self-reflection in a room at the Herbe Royal Villa. Huh, I see. So what brings you here today, Philip? Well, to be perfectly honest, I was sent by His Grace to purchase some donuts. Huh? Self-reflection? With donuts? Oh, he hasn't changed much. Donuts are good.
Please take a look.
People should eat more donuts.
Not bad.
Annalise! What's wrong? Why are you staring at me like that? You know, going through this rescue mission really made me realize. You two do a great job of covering each other. Yeah, when you spend this much time together, you kinda end up in sync. I'm sure that's part of it, but... Annalise leaned in close to whisper into Estelle's ear. Yeah, I think you two make great partners, even off the clock. What? No need to be so embarrassed. Oh, I wish I had someone as amazing as Joshua for myself.
Hey, how you doing?
I don't usually shop at places like this, but Sherazade and Annalise insisted, so here I am. Oh, look who it is. Shara, what are you doing? I thought I'd enjoy some shopping with a few of my colleagues. It's not every day that we get the chance to hang out like this. Now that you mention it, you used to take me shopping a lot when I was little. That's right. When your father was away, the three of us would go out together. Hey, I know, when we get back to Roland, let's go shopping together for old time's sake. I'll treat you to some new clothes as a present for becoming senior braces. Really? You mean it? I'm so in. No takesies backsies, Shara. Yay! And that is exactly how Estelle gets new clothes. I think of Kurt, Annalise, Grant, Hannah, Sherazin, Agate, Tita, Chloe.
Long live Her Majesty! This year's been something else.
On the 4 mares. Three mares. Am I missing anyone? No. Oh yeah, and Olivier. Already done. Oh, are you two heading out? The city is positively buzzing with excitement for the birthday festival. Please take care if you decide to leave the castle grounds. Yay, the Royal Guard's back.
Please feel free to look around.
And there's General Morgan, Cassius, and the Queen. It pains me deeply to ask Cassius to return to service after he retired from the military, but to be very honest, it is also incredibly reassuring. I know it's not ideal for you two either, but please allow me to benefit from your father's wisdom for a while. Ah, you two. It's been a while. Ah, General Morgan. Long time no see. It seems you served my granddaughter at the Urbe Royal Villa. At the Urbe Royal Villa? Oh, you mean Rianne? We were just doing our duty. Ensuring the safety of civilians is the duty of the Bracer Guild. Lippy as ever, I see. But you did liberate the villa, rescue Her Majesty, and retake Gransel Castle. So I suppose I could express my gratitude. Just this once. General Morgan. You've done a very good job. For braces. That still doesn't sound like a compliment. I guess I'll let it slide. Richard, you fool. The city sure is lively, isn't it? I've got quite a few meetings to attend, so I think I'll be stuck here for a bit. You two should go enjoy the festival. That's everything, I think. I'll just quickly check the terrace. And then the keep itself. Shay. The princess has returned, so I'm cleaning her room for her. The princess is out and about in the city right now, in disguise. It seems that she has some school friends out there. Think, am I missing anybody? Queen, General Morgan, Cassius, Shay, Hilda, Philip. Ah, the Lovebirds. $30 trillion more Trails games. One can hope. But it won't be that case.
Feel free to look around.
Probably got about 4 more Trails games, I feel. After Trails is beyond the horizon.
This year's been something else.
I can't believe we got caught up in all that commotion. But I think the climax of our trip is yet to come. I was about to propose to my girlfriend in front of the castle, but the gates opened all of a sudden and the royal guard and bracers rushed in. I was so shocked. I thought they were coming to stop me from proposing. I still haven't had the chance to ask her yet. Aww.
Long live Her Majesty!
Alright, don't think I'm missing anybody. Where's that famous ice cream shop I've heard so much about?
Let's go around one more time.
Alright, that's it. Now we can get ready for the finale. We've got some reading to do now. Alright, let's start with the liberal news. Special feature, the Queen's Birthday Festival, celebrating a milestone birthday. This year marks an incredible milestone for Her Majesty Queen Alicia as she celebrates her 60th birthday. With under half a year left until the highly anticipated birthday festival, the excitement is palpable, promising to be a celebration like no other, one that will outshine all previous years. This year is particularly poignant as it also commemorates a decade since the 100-Day War, a devastating conflict that swept across our beloved kingdom. As we gather in joyful celebration, we must also reflect on the lessons learned and consider how we can ensure such heartache is never repeated. The birthday festival is not just a time for festivities. It is a unique chance for our citizens to unite under Her Majesty's reign, to reflect on our past, and to dream of our bright future. Let the countdown to this great celebration begin. Gransel prepares, merchants compete for spotlight. As the birthday festival approaches, Gransel's main street is already buzzing with excitement and colourful decorations. Meanwhile, merchants in the capital are in a race against time, labouring away on new products to attract potential customers. Every year is a competition, says Sorbet, owner of a popular ice cream shop in the East Block. Her creative new menu remains a guarded secret, set to be unveiled at the day of the festival. With more shops opening every year, It's great to see the festival getting livelier, she adds, smiling cheerfully. Yet behind that jovial smile, it's clear she's keeping a vigilant, watchful eye on the workings of rival shops. Society. A series of robberies reported across Bose. In a troubling turn of events, a series of robberies has occurred over the past several days, concentrated in the city of Bose. The military has not released an official statement, but eyewitness accounts suggest that the crimes have been orchestrated by a group, prompting heightened vigilance from the Royal Army's border division stationed at Harkin Gate. Bose residents express growing uneasiness and hope for the swift arrest of those responsible. And resort. A charming retreat for a relaxing getaway. Discover the allure of the Kingfisher Inn at Valeria Shore, a quaint destination that has become a favourite among trend-setting young women from the capital. With its picturesque views and tranquil atmosphere, it is the perfect spot for a leisurely holiday spent fishing and relaxing. Rates start from a mere 1,000 mira for 2 guests, but early reservations are encouraged. Don't miss this opportunity to unwind in a charming lakeside getaway. And that was the very first issue. That was at the start of the prologue. This is at the end of the prologue. Breaking news. Airliner Linda vanishes. Whereabouts unknown. The search continues. The airliner Lind, which was en route to Roland, mysteriously disappeared from the radar over East Bose airspace yesterday afternoon. Despite extensive search efforts by the Royal Army, the aircraft's location remains unknown as of this morning. The ongoing search for the airliner has become a top priority. All airliner flights suspended. To facilitate the ongoing search operation, the Royal Army has declared East Bose a no-fly zone, resulting in the suspension of all airliner flights in the region. Travellers are advised to stay updated on flight information as the situation evolves. 17 people aboard, families anxious for news. The Libel Orbital Ship Company has confirmed that there were 17 passengers and crew members aboard the airliner at the time of its disappearance. Families of those on board are growing increasingly anxious for updates regarding their loved ones. Expert opinion: accident or incident? In light of the situation, we sought the insights of Factory Chief Murdoch of the Central Factory. He noted, Orbital engine technology is reliable, and it is highly unlikely that a malfunction would directly lead to a crash. I believe the probability of an accident is low. Conflicting information fuels speculation. Numerous theories have emerged surrounding the disappearance of the Lin. Speculations have ranged from conspiracies involving factions within the Imperial Army to shadowy mercenaries known as Jaegers from various nations. Other theories include potential kidnappings for ransom and even rumors of dragon attacks. However, all claims remain unverified. The Royal Army's strict control over information has contributed to public anxiety and calls for clear and transparent communication from authorities. Society. Septium stolen. Robbery in Roland. A valuable septium crystal stored at the Mayor of Roland's residence was stolen by an unidentified perpetrator. Thanks to the swift action of the Bracer Guild, the stolen crystal was successfully recovered, but the culprit managed to evade capture during the pursuit. Fortunately, neither the Mayor nor his family were harmed in the incident. It's unfortunate that the culprit escaped, but our Bracers did everything they could, commented a representative from the local guild branch. Exploring historical ruins. Jade Tower. Approximately 100 cells along a mountain path from the city of Roland lies the enchanting Jade Tower, a shimmering blue-green structure amid the peaceful landscape. One of the tetracyclic towers dispersed throughout the kingdom, this historic monument is believed to have been built around the time of the kingdom's founding. Its original purpose, however, remains a mystery. Scholars and researchers anticipate further studies utilizing recent orbital technology to uncover more about this captivating ancient ruin. Breaking news. Update on the missing Lind. Ransom demand received. Sources within the Royal Army have confirmed that the Libel Orbital Ship Company, along with the Libel royal family, have both received a ransom note from the hijackers. The note received yesterday identifies the perpetrators as the notorious Capua family. They have made a staggering demand for tens of millions of Mira in exchange for the lives of their passengers aboard. Who are the Sky Pirates? The Capua family, an elusive group of Sky Pirates, continues to wreak havoc in the skies between the Erebonian Empire and the Bose region. Although details remain murky regarding their operations, estimates indicate that this small yet formidable organization is composed of around 20 members. Future investigation hinges on cooperation. As the situation intensifies, investigations are now pivoting toward the urgent rescue of hostages. Officials warn that the situation will become even more difficult, necessitating a unified front between the Royal Army and Bracer Guild. A representative of the guild voiced skepticism regarding the potential for collaboration, remarking, "Relations aren't terrible, but they're certainly not as good as they could be." In a call for unity, Mayor Maybell of Bose expressed her concern. "This is no time for jurisdictional disputes. Both sides need to act like adults," she stated. The young mayor, only 21 years of age, carries a weighty responsibility as the community looks to her for strong leadership. Technology. State-of-the-art airship Arcee finally takes flight. The highly anticipated high-speed cruiser Arcee, built at the Zeiss Central Factory and measuring an impressive 42 arc in length, has completed its outfitting and has been officially delivered to the Royal Guard. The test flight is scheduled to occur shortly. However, due to delays in the development of its main orbital engine, initial testing will be limited to basic performance evaluations. Book review: The 100-Day War. True account. This year marks a decade since the end of the 100-Day War, an event that remains fresh in the memories of many citizens. As we reflect on this turbulent chapter in the newly released book, The 100-Day War, a true account, emerges as a vital resource for objective historical data while illuminating hidden truths surrounding the conflict. For those navigating the memories of this significant period, it is a timely and poignant work. Special getaway: discover the Maple Leaf Inn. Tucked away in the picturesque Elmo village, located in southern Zeiss near the Calvert border, the Maple Leaf Inn stands out as the premier hot spring retreat. With its serene Eastern-infused ambience and abundance of natural hot springs, the inn attracts guests from far and wide. Eastern cuisine, known for its beauty-enhancing benefits, is exquisite. The main attraction is the open-air bath. While you may feel shy at first, the unique sense of freedom in bathing beneath the starry night sky is addictive. Be sure to secure your towel and embrace the ambience of this hidden gem. Special feature: Sky Pirates arrested. Linda incident resolved. All hostages safely rescued. The Royal Army's Intelligence Division has successfully apprehended the notorious Capua Sky Pirates hiding in the mountainous Bose region. All hostages held captive at the hideout have been rescued unharmed. Lind found in abandoned Revenue mine. The airship Lind, which vanished weeks ago, was discovered abandoned in a desolate mine north of Revenue Village. Although the ships showed no signs of the kidnapped passengers, this crucial finding accelerated the investigation, leading to the pirates' recent capture and the hostages' safe return. Newly established Intelligence Division proves its worth. Led by the young and ambitious Colonel Richard, the information gathering and analysis abilities of the new Intelligence Division of the Royal Army played a vital role in locating the Sky Pirates' hideout. Meanwhile, General Morgan's Border Division tracked the criminals' movements, showcasing an effective collaboration between junior and senior officers in the operation's successful conclusion. We were on the scene at the moment of arrest. As the army intervened, soldiers shouted "Royal Army, hands up" to the stunned pirates attempting to flee by airship. Despite their resistance, the bandits were quickly subdued and apprehended, bringing the Lind incident to a dramatic, satisfying close. Perhaps in shock, the pirate leader Don, aged 32, had a blank expression until the very end. Bracers also contributed to the operation. While the Intelligence Division's skills were vital to the operation's success, we cannot overlook the efforts of Bracers behind the scenes. Several hours before the army launched its operation, a small group of bracers used discreet, resourceful methods to infiltrate the Sky Pirates' hideout. Inside, they engaged the pirates in fierce combat, paving the way for the Royal Army to strike. This incredible, if unexpected alliance between the Guild and the army couldn't have happened at a more crucial time. Suspects transferred to Leyston Fortress. Key suspect Don and other pirate leaders have been transported to Leyston Fortress for interrogation. The military seized their small Imperial-made airship named Bobcat as evidence. Families relieved as hostages returned safely. In the wake of the successful operation, families of rescued passengers expressed immense relief. Mayor Maybell of Bose stated, "This is the best possible outcome. We extend our deepest gratitude to everyone involved. From General Morgan, who oversaw nightly command operations, to all our heroes who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. We at Libelle News salute you." Society. Duke Dunan visits Rouen region. Duke Dunan, nephew of Her Majesty the Queen, is set to embark on a personal visit to Rouen. Specific details regarding his trip destinations have not been made public. Society. Brazen Imperial Dines and Dashes. A luxury restaurant, Anteros, located in the northern district of Bose, recently became the target of an attempted dine and dash. A traveller from the Empire who proclaimed himself a humble musician was apprehended at the scene. While it is highly unusual for someone to be imprisoned for over dining and dashing, military officials explained that the decision was made due to the substantial financial loss and apparently premeditated nature of the crime. Special feature. Interview with Colonel Richard. The truth behind the Royal Army's rising star. If the Lind incident shook our entire kingdom to its core, it was the intelligence division that brought us back to peace and order. At the request of our readers, Libelle News has secured an exclusive interview with Colonel Richard, the founder of the intelligence division. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Colonel for taking time to speak with us despite his demanding responsibilities. Colonel Alan Richard, born in 1168, age 34, unmarried. Colonel Richard is a distinguished graduate of the Military Academy, currently serving as Colonel and Commander of the Royal Army Intelligence Division. Establishment of Intelligence Division, inevitable for the times. Libelle News. First of all, thank you for all you did during the Lind incident. Colonel Richard, hereafter Colonel. All we officers did was sit behind a desk. The true credit belongs to our soldiers who carried out the operation. What commendable humility. Let's move on to our first question. What was your role in the 100-Day War? I was involved in everything from strategic planning to frontline combat to communications and logistics. Did those wartime experiences influence the creation of the Intelligence Division? No, I feel the division's creation was merely an inevitability for our times. With rapid advancement of orbital technology, today's events today unfold more rapidly than ever before. Our military must adapt to meet those changes. Royal Army requires a transformation. Libelle News. How do you envision the future of the Royal Army? Colonel. It's not really my place as an officer to comment, but my personal opinion is that the Royal Army must evolve into a stronger organization. So an expansion of the military? No, not exactly. It's not about increasing our numbers per se, but rather achieving a qualitative transformation. A total shift in organization, equipment, in virtually every aspect. I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Colonel. Reporter's thoughts. I found Colonel Richard to be frank and approachable, a far cry from the archetypal elite officer. His swift establishment of the Intelligence Division demonstrates the rare combination of raw intelligence with political savvy. A rising star in the Royal Army, his future endeavours will undoubtedly captivate the public. Culture. The Janus Royal Academy Festival approaches. The much anticipated annual school festival at Janus Royal Academy is on the horizon. The event promises exhibitions, a diverse array of culinary delights, and the cherished student theatre performance. We eagerly await the students' passionate showcase. Exploring ancient ruins. Erletten in the Ruan region. Discover the breathtaking beauty of Erletten, where a powerful waterfall cascades from an aqueduct perched on a cliff. The aqueduct, a medieval ruin, stirs curiosity about how it was constructed in an era well before ordnance. Today, visitors can enjoy the ruins, which house a checkpoint and accommodations for travelers, making it an ideal spot to experience the romantic, ancient history of Rouen. Breaking news. Orphanage completely destroyed by fire. In a tragic event early yesterday morning, a fire broke out at Mercier Orphanage in the Rouen region, completely destroying the facility. Fortunately, neither the matron nor the children residing there suffered injuries. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation by the local branch of the Bracer Guild. Then at the end of the chapter, Rouen Mayor arrested for arson. Unexpected arrest. Yesterday afternoon, Mayor Dalmor, age 48, of Rouen, was arrested by the Royal Guard of the Royal Army on multiple charges including conspiracy to commit arson. His secretary, Gilbert, age 25, was also arrested under the same charges. Both suspects have been transferred to Leyston Fortress for further investigation by the Intelligence Division. Shocking crimes committed by a sitting mayor. Mayor Dalmor stands accused of orchestrating an arson attack on the Mercier Orphanage, coupled with the assault and robbery of the orphanage's matron. While the identities of the actual arsonists remain unknown, Secretary Gilbert was arrested at the scene of the conspiracy, and it appears to be a clear-cut case. Dramatic daytime capture. Ooh, those are good. New cruiser Arcey joins the pursuit. During an interrogation by Bracers, Mayor Dalmor suddenly attempted to flee down the Roubaix River aboard his private yacht. In a rapid response, the newly commissioned cruiser Arcey cut off the mayor's escape route, leading to his capture. While Dalmor appeared disoriented initially, it appears he has since regained his composure. Why target an orphanage? A closer examination of Dalmor's past reveals a troubling motive. Coming from the former noble family, and recognized for his reliable governance, the mayor allegedly turned to crime due to overwhelming debts. Our investigation revealed that Dalmor had been involved in speculative market trading and suffered significant financial losses from a failed investment in the Republic a year prior. Faced with dire fiscal challenges, he misappropriated city funds and hastened plans for a resort area, hoping to quickly recoup his money through land sales. Mercier Orphanage refused to sell their land, thwarting his plans. Driven into a corner, Dalmor resorted to the heinous act of arson and descended into a string of violent crimes. Society. Municipal government in turmoil. Swift election awaited. In the wake of Mayor Dalmor's arrest, confusion has gripped the municipal government of Rouen. According to the Royal Charter, which was established alongside the abolition of the aristocracy, a prompt election must follow such an event. Citizens are eagerly anticipating a swift and fair election to restore stability to the municipality. Technology. The world's most advanced orbital calculator, Keppel. Advancements in orbment technology continue to revolutionize mechanical calculations across various fields, including airship navigation systems. At the forefront of this technology is Keppel, located in the Zeiss Central Factory. This revolutionary calculator can instantly access a wealth of information equivalent to several encyclopedias. Keppel's developer, Professor Russell, is actively researching new applications for this groundbreaking technology. Breaking news. Kingdom shaken. Terrorists attack at Zeiss Central Factory. Daytime terror incident. According to an announcement by the Royal Army Intelligence Division, a terrorist attack took place yesterday at the Zeiss Central Factory. Though the specifics remain unknown, smoke grenades used by the perpetrators temporarily caused panic at the scene, and eyewitness accounts from the scene reported seeing soldiers in distinctive blue military uniforms leaving the vicinity shortly after the incident. In response to this alarming breach, the Royal Army has established checkpoints throughout the Zeiss region, and is actively pursuing these unknown soldiers. The Royal Army is currently investigating a potential link between this incident and the previous terrorist attack. Deepening suspicions surround the blue military uniforms. Eyewitnesses have quickly noted the resemblance of the blue military uniforms to those worn by the Royal Guard. The Intelligence Division has not yet officially commented, but if this information is confirmed, it could escalate into a major incident that shakes the very foundations of the Royal Army. We will keep readers informed as we find out more. Possible connection to a mysterious phenomenon 2 days before. 2 nights before the incident, a mysterious phenomenon occurred in Zeiss, causing all orbits in the area to temporarily cease functioning. Possible motives behind the terrorist incident. The motives behind this terrorist incident remain unclear. Below, we explore several possible scenarios behind the attack. Hypothesis 1. Imperial Conspiracy. This theory suggests that factions within the Imperial Army may have orchestrated the attack to seize advanced technology in the Central Factory. It is believed they may have enlisted mercenary groups, like the Jaegers, to carry out this sinister plot. Hypothesis 2. Royal Army Internal Rebellion. Another theory suggests that a faction within the Royal Army has staged a rebellion, aiming to occupy the Central Factory and destabilize the kingdom. However, the lack of other signs of unrest has led many to question the credibility of this hypothesis. Hypothesis 3. Ancient Dragon Attack. A peculiar theory posited by some researchers suggests that ancient dragons surviving in the surrounding mountainous regions attacked the Central Factory. This captivating theory warrants further exploration as the investigation continues. Culture, exploring historical sites. Annenberg in the Gransel region. Annenberg served as the kingdom's final line of defense during the 100-Day War, successfully protecting the royal capital from the Imperial Army. Often described as the Pearl Oysters encircling Gransel, this impressive wall is one of the many ancient ruins scattered across the kingdom. Visitors venturing atop the walls from Gurun Gate or Sanctum Gate can almost feel the ancient wisdom in this remarkable fortification. Travel. Make your next visit truly special. This time we're highlighting the prestigious Hotel Roenbaum, widely known as the kingdom's finest hotel. Located mere minutes from the East Block and adjacent to Gransel Castle, it's a true dream destination. For those wishing to fully experience the Queen's Birthday Festival, there is simply no better place. Renowned for its exceptional service and luxurious accommodations, the Hotel Roenbaum is a destination not to be missed. Issue 8. Shock in the capital. Royal Guards plot rebellion? Royal Guard members arrested. According to a late-night announcement by the Intelligence Division, the Royal Army's Royal Guard was plotting a rebellion from inside the capital. The shocking incident was thwarted when Special Ops forces from the Intelligence Division intervened to uncover and suppress the plot. In response, Army Operations HQ has ordered the immediate dissolution of the Royal Guard. Former Lieutenant Julius Schwartz and several senior officials of the Royal Guard are at large, prompting a nationwide manhunt. Further investigations by the Intelligence Division have linked the recent factory attack to the Royal Guard, orchestrated at the direction of Lieutenant Schwartz. This revelation caused the order for immediate suspension and detainment of Royal Guard leadership. Urbe Royal Villa sealed. The Intelligence Division has established a base of operations at Urbe Royal Villa amidst fears of potential attacks from rebel forces. As a result, entry to the villa and the surrounding areas is prohibited until further notice. Why would an elite unit rebel? Suspicions deepen. Sudden accusations against the Royal Guard following the alleged rebellion plot and the Central Factory incident have left the citizens of the capital gravely shaken. How could a unit so trusted by Her Majesty be capable of such treachery? The time has come for the Intelligence Division to clarify the motives and circumstances behind these events to restore public confidence. Society. Her Majesty unwell. Birthday festival potentially postponed. Sources close to the royal family report that Her Majesty Queen Alicia has been unwell for several days and is currently resting at the royal keep. Princess Claudia, who is said to be at her side, closely attending to her. Duke Dunan will temporarily serve as the Queen's proxy. If Her Majesty's health fails to improve, the upcoming birthday festival may be postponed. Amid the recent turmoil and arrests in the royal capital, this news adds yet another heavy burden to the kingdom and its citizens. We sincerely pray for Her Majesty's swift recovery. Society. Royal Tournament prelim rounds begin. The annual Royal Tournament, hosted by Duke Dunan in Her Majesty's absence, has begun its preliminary rounds as scheduled, despite the prevailing gloom in the capital. At the Duke's strong insistence, the tournament format has been changed to a 4-on-4 team battle. Competitors scrambled to quickly assemble teams, but notably, a participant from the Republic has opted to compete alone. Will this solitary martial artist's skill be enough to propel him through the challenging preliminary rounds? Issue 9. Special feature. Tournament Champion's Crown. Surprise team claims victory. Finally, the last member of the Special Ops team slowly sank to his knees. As the referee raised his hand toward the sky, the arena erupted into thunderous applause. This year's tournament was filled with surprises from the start, beginning with a switch to team-based combat, and the finals brought yet another surprise. Victory ultimately went to a mixed team led by Zin, a skilled martial artist from the Republic. Who could have predicted such a remarkable outcome? Yes, this unconventional lineup, composed of a martial artist, 2 junior bracers, and a travelling musician, defied predictions and bested an elite special ops team to claim the championship. Truly, a royal tournament for the ages. These champions showcased remarkable strength that transcended the sum of their individual abilities. Their secret? Exceptional teamwork that allowed their diverse skills to complement one another perfectly. This thrilling triumph would not have been achievable without the switch to team-based combat, proving the tournament's innovative format a rewarding success. We commend all participants for their efforts. Winning team invited to Royal Banquet. The victorious team has been invited to attend this year's illustrious Royal Banquet hosted by Duke Dunan. Their prize includes a whopping 100,000 mira, alongside the honour of mingling with prominent figures across the kingdom, including the mayors of each city. Society. Her Majesty the Queen recovering. It has been confirmed that Her Majesty the Queen, who had been battling recent illness, is now showing signs of recovery. And is expected to resume her official duties soon. Thank you for the stretch, Millie McSee. The birthday festival, previously shrouded in uncertainty, will proceed as planned, bringing welcome relief in these challenging times. Society. Intelligence Division deploys special ops to the Royal Capital. In response to challenges tracking down former Royal Guard officers, the Intelligence Division has decided to deploy its Special Ops unit to the capital. This decisive action aims to fortify the internal defense measures with expectations that security for the royal castle will soon be fully entrusted to these elite units. Society. Ancient dragons? Intriguing reports are emerging from Ravenue Village in the northern Bose region. The villagers claimed to witness massive flying shadows in the sky. Speculation is rife that these might be traces of ancient dragons, a majestic species thought to have vanished after the Great Collapse. According to researchers, the Bose region was the last known habitat for these legendary beings, prompting excitement and interest around the possibility that remnants of this ancient lineage may still exist today. Enthusiasm for these creatures has surged recently, capturing the imagination of many within the kingdom. And this is the long one. Breaking news. Intelligence Division's coup foiled. Heroic rescue of Her Majesty the Queen. How did Dorothy get that camera angle? Dorothy can fly. Yesterday at noon, a coalition consisting primarily of bracers and members of the Royal Guard stormed Gransel Castle, rescuing Queen Alicia from what appears to be effectively house arrest by the Intelligence Division. The group swiftly subdued the special soldiers and reclaimed the castle. High-ranking officials, including Colonel Richard, have been taken into custody on charges of attempted coup d'etat. In this issue, we'll do a deep dive to uncover the truth behind the chaos in the capital. A note to our readers. No doubt many readers will be shocked by today's headlines. Until now, our publication has refrained from reporting on major events, including the occupation of the castle and Her Majesty's confinement, as we sought to investigate and expose the Intelligence Division's corrupt conspiracy. We sincerely apologize for the abrupt nature of this revelation, and humbly request our readers' understanding. Editor-in-Chief. Behind the plot. Richard's dark agenda. Colonel Richard, the young reformer who founded the Intelligence Division, has been revealed as the mastermind behind a meticulously planned coup. Under the guise of reform, he used his Intelligence Division to gather compromising information on high-ranking Royal Army officials such as corruption and illicit relationships, while eliminating those known for their integrity, such as General Morgan, through more ruthless and direct means. Through these tactics, Richard swiftly seized control of the Royal Army from within. Central Factory terrorist incident also linked to the Intelligence Division. New evidence links the Central Factory terrorist attack, which provided the pretext for the arrest of the Royal Guard, to Richard's Special Ops unit of the Intelligence Division. The incident appears to be part of a complex false flag operation intended to frame the Royal Guard and secure military dominance. The Bracer Guild is currently investigating the full implications of this attack, which allegedly aimed to seize experimental equipment and abduct Professor Russell, a leading augment expert. Princess Claudia taken hostage. Having gained control over most of the military, Richard finally enacted his coup plan. His goal was to install Duke Dunan, the Queen's nephew, on the throne in place of Queen Alicia, allowing him to rule behind the scenes. By taking Princess Claudia hostage, he tried to force Her Majesty to abdicate. Richard's scheme, however, was uncovered by the Royal Guard, led by Lieutenant Schwartz. A fierce confrontation ensued between the Royal Guard and Special Ops. Outnumbered, the Royal Guard was defeated and Princess Claudia was captured. Subsequently, the Royal Guard was falsely branded as terrorists and driven underground. With all obstacles seemingly eliminated, the coup appeared certain to succeed. The rise of unexpected heroes. Just as all seemed lost, unlikely heroes emerged. These individuals managed to slip past the Special Ops security and infiltrate the castle, successfully meeting with the Queen, who was under house arrest. In accordance with the Bracer Guild's request, we will refrain from disclosing their identities here. However, thanks to the information they provided, the Guild, previously unaware of the full situation due to the Intelligence Division's censorship, finally recognized the true gravity of the crisis. From that point onward, the Bracer Guild became the central force opposing the Intelligence Division. Liberation of Urbe Royal Villa and Her Majesty. Uniting with Lieutenant Schwartz and the Royal Guard, the Bracer Guild launched a coordinated midnight operation, liberating Urbe Royal Villa and rescuing Princess Claudia, among other hostages. At precisely noon yesterday, as the bells of Gransel Cathedral tolled, rescue forces composed primarily of Bracers and the Royal Guard launched a three-pronged attack on Gransel Castle from air, ground, and underground. As the Intelligence Division-controlled Royal Army suppression forces closed in, a fierce battle erupted within Gransel Castle and its underground facilities against the Special Ops. While the Bracers successfully rescued the Queen, the approaching Royal Army units were stopped by General Morgan, who had escaped captivity and rushed to Gransel to halt their advance. Thus ended Richard and the Intelligence Division's coup, moments before he seemed poised for victory. Power of Nameless Heroes. It has become abundantly clear that the ambitions of the Intelligence Division were not foiled by the strength of any single hero. Instead, it was the cumulative courage of countless unnamed individuals that generated the strength necessary to overcome such a formidable conspiracy. Among the Royal Guard and Bracers, there were several brave civilians. Indeed, even in the final battle, the Liberation side was far from adequately manned. Once again, it was the bravery of ordinary citizens that made this operation possible. This reporter too has drawn strength from such selfless courage. Of the many who stepped forward, I must extend my heartfelt gratitude to 2 junior Bracers, without whom writing this article would have been impossible. As I pen this final conclusion, my gratitude toward them only deepens. According to the Bracer Guild, these 2 will soon receive the promotion they've been chasing after. As a humble reporter, I ask readers to forgive this indulgence to honor these unsung heroes with a personal message. Congrats. You have my blessings. If you're ever in the mood for curry, I'll gladly treat you to as many servings as you'd like. N. Nile. Society. Royal Guard's honor restored. Unit officially reorganized. The Royal Guards, previously branded as rebels and terrorists and forced into hiding, have officially had their ranks and honor restored. Military HQ is expected to formally announce the Royal Guard's reorganization later today, with all members, including Lieutenant Julia, anticipated to return to their original posts. Society. General Morgan appointed head of Military HQ. In the aftermath of the recent coup attempt, Royal Army faces mounting calls for a comprehensive reorganization to prevent the recurrence of such chaos. The Royal Assembly has proposed a restructuring plan with General Morgan at its helm. The Royal Army is expected to follow this proposal closely, with General Morgan expected to assume the position of head of Military HQ soon. Additionally, it has been announced that former Colonel Cassius Bright, who notably served as General Morgan's right-hand man during the 100-Day War, will return to active duty as his assistant. The former colonel stepped down from military service following the war and has since been active within the Bracer Guild. Strange phenomena at the 4 towers? Yesterday afternoon, numerous reports came in from across the kingdom describing sightings of mysterious lights. Witnesses claim beams of light shot upward from the tops of the 4 towers. Investigations are currently underway and we await further details on the phenomena. Alright, that's the end of the Libel news. I'll do Cornelia last, because that's a long read. The 100-Day War. True account. Outbreak. In the spring of Septian calendar year 1192, a single artillery shell shook Harken Gate, that ancient sentinel standing in the northern region of the kingdom of Libel. This fateful event marked the onset of an marked the onset of an invasion that would be etched into history as the 100-Day War. The moment when the fierce golden stallion turned its gaze upon the white falcon. At the time, Harken Gate was merely a medieval wall, its fortifications only mildly reinforced, and the orbital shells fired from the Imperial Rhineford Company's orbital tanks shattered it as easily as glass. Under the relentless rain of artillery, the kingdom's defenses swiftly crumbled into piles of rubble. Declaration of war. Simultaneously with the first shattering impact of the artillery shell, a letter arrived from the Erebonian embassy in Gransel, the royal capital. Addressed to Queen Alicia at Gransel Castle, it was a formal declaration of war from the Erebonian Empire against the Kingdom of Libel. Per the established diplomatic conventions, the legitimacy of a declaration of war relied upon its issuance before any preemptive strike. Yet in this instance, the distinction became all but meaningless. The declaration was issued in the blink of an eye, just as the artillery fire tore through Harken Gate, cleverly sewing the shell's impact into a narrative of preemptive aggression. This audacious tactic could only have been orchestrated through meticulous coordination enabled by burgeoning orbital communication technology. A lightning strike. With Harken Gate shattered, the Imperial Army surged forth into Libel. Their ranks swelled to 13 divisions, nearly half of the entire Imperial Army and thrice the size of Libel's Royal Army. In a mere month since the war's start, Imperial troops had occupied all of Libel's territory, save for the Gransel region and Leiston Fortress near Valeria Lake. Even the Calvard Republic, a close neighbour and long-standing rival of the Empire, found itself unable to send reinforcements. Thwarted by the Empire's astonishingly swift offensive, the Imperial Army seized control of Zeiss's central factory and Malgamine, setting their sights on the royal capital, demanding Queen Alicia's surrender. A counteroffensive. But 2 months after the war began, fortune shifted unexpectedly. Within the walls of Leiston Fortress, 3 military patrol ships were constructed. And under the resolute command of the seasoned General Morgan, a large-scale counteroffensive was set in motion. These formidable patrol ships, boasting armor far superior to that of tanks and laden with a multitude of high-performance orbital weapons, possessed extraordinary mobility, achieving speeds of up to 1800 sails per hour. With these vessels, the elite independent mobile units swiftly recaptured key checkpoints linking regions throughout the kingdom. In short order, the entirety of the Royal Army departed Leiston Fortress aboard these patrol ships, systematically dismantling the scattered Imperial divisions across Libel. End of the war. 3 months after the war's eruption, the majority of the Imperial divisions, still resisting in various locales, surrendered. Though whispers of additional Imperial reinforcements preparing to join the fray circulated, nations across the continent, led by the Calvard Republic, began to voice their condemnation of the Empire, taking concrete steps to dispatch their own troops to aid Libel. Amidst this escalating international clamour, the Septian Church and the Bracer Guild united in a call for a ceasefire, bringing the conflict to a close roughly 100 days after its cataclysmic start. The following year, in 1193, a peace treaty was forged at the Urbo Royal Villa near the royal capital of Libel. While no reparations were levied, the imperial government offered a formal apology, blaming the conflict as an unfortunate mistake arising from misunderstandings. Alright, we've got our ads about to start, so we'll take a break from reading. Just take a short break. I've read 11 of the books. Alright, we're back from the ads. Yay. Alright, Rowan Economic History, Volume 1. Economic History of Rowan, Volume 1. Table of Contents. Board. Economic History and Analytical Methods. 1. Rowan's economy before the Orbital Revolution, urban transformation through advances in maritime technology, commercial development and the rise of the Third Estate. 2. Abolition of aristocracy and the collapse of regional economic monopolies. Forward to Volume 1. Economic History examines economic activities, one of humanity's fundamental pursuits, by tracing their historical development and considering their future implications. It is no exaggeration to state that since the Orbital Revolution, the world has been increasingly shaped by economic forces. Dramatic advancements in transportation and productivity have created a continental-scale flow of goods and people, bringing the interests of various nations into sharper focus. This volume chronologically explores the history from before the Orbital Revolution, analyzing regional economic developments with particular emphasis on the Kingdom of Libo and, more specifically, the city of Rouen. Economic History of Rouen, Volume 2. Table of Contents. Forward. The World After the Orbital Revolution. Part 3. Rouen and the Orbital Revolution. The Advent of the Airship Era and Maritime Trade. And 4. The 100-Day War and the Empire. Shifts in logistics before and after the war, and changing relations with the Empire. Forward to the middle volume. The advancements brought by the Orbital Revolution significantly reshaped production and transportation, two cornerstones of economic activity. Introducing orbits into the handicraft industry greatly improved productivity, transforming traditional artisan guilds into modern enterprises and establishing systems capable of consistently supplying a wide array of products to the market. Simultaneously, innovations in transportation technology, especially airships, rapidly internationalized economic competition, creating scenarios that could easily escalate into pragmatic conflicts between nations. Indeed, it can be said that beneath every regional conflict today lies an economic rivalry. Economic History of Rouen, Volume 3, Table of Contents. Forward, The 100-Day War and Rouen. 5. Rouen's Post-War Economy. Rise of New Entrepreneurs. Tourism Development Policies. Pros and Cons. 6. Challenges Facing the Next Generation. International Expansion of Airline Routes and Rouen. Forward to Volume 3. Even after the Orbital Revolution, which significantly advanced transportation technology, Rouen's economy continued to rely heavily on imports and exports to its harbour, with the Erebonian Empire serving as its primary trading partner. Consequently, the strained relations with the Empire following the 100-Day War had profound implications for this port city. This situation prompted Rouen's business community to explore new avenues, leading to initiatives such as the development of tourism resources and the stimulation of domestic demand. Although these measures are finally beginning to bear fruit, significant challenges still remain to be addressed. And now we get to... this is gonna be the cringiest part of this whole thing. Cat Talk for Dummies. Notes on usage. Cat language varies by region and may not always match the provided written examples exactly, much like human dialects. Additionally, the lengthening of sounds represented by the tilde in examples is closely tied to a cat's personality and emotions, resulting in considerable individual variation. The examples provided here are representative only. Oh boy. One moment. What? Practical examples. Meow. Meow. Indeed, it is so. Strong affirmation. Meow. Go. This direction, if you please. Guiding. Meow. That is correct. Yeah. Hurrah! Expression of jubilation. Yeah, go. Kindly hold a moment. Cautioning. Yeah, my claws are such a bother. Irritation. Yeah, I'm positively famished. Meow. Take heed. Meow. I am beset by fatigue. Meow. Pray tell, who might you be? Meow. Yes, that is indeed correct. Meow. Is something the matter? Meow. Until we meet again. Used when greeting someone again after a short interval. Meow go. It has been a while indeed. How have you fared? Meow on. Farewell. Meow. Yes, precisely. Strong affirmation. Meow go. Salutations. Boomya. Yawn. Meow. Pardon? What did you say? expressed when asking again with slight reproach. Meow? My tummy is rumbling. A childish expression. Meow. I extend my apologies. Tomorrow's cooking. Cooking is science, the latest recipes for a new century. Today, exclusively for readers of this book, we reveal the recipe for an ultra-modern dish. Portable bouillabaisse. This innovative recipe allows you to conveniently enjoy delicious bouillabaisse anywhere, anytime, anywhere. Ingredients: onion, as needed. Red pepper, as needed. Monster bone, as needed. Monster fish meat, as needed. Monster fish roe, as needed. Monster gelatin, as needed. Preparation. Step 1. Thoroughly rinse the monster bones with water. If odor is a concern, briefly boil them first. Step 2. Finely chop the onion. Cut the bones and fish meat into bite-sized pieces. Separate the monster fish and roe and gelatin, lightly rinsing them with water. Season the fish roe slightly and set aside. Step 3. Heat a frying pan and saute the ingredients. Once the fish meat is lightly cooked, add water or broth and simmer until the liquid has reduced by half. Step 4. Finally add the monster gelatin and bring it to a boil once. Immediately remove from heat and allow it to cool and solidify. 5. Once set, cut the gelatin into bite-sized pieces and garnish with the seasoned monster fish roe. The portable bouillabaisse is now complete. Enjoy it as it is or reheated. It's also a perfect addition if you're looking to add one more dish to your lunchbox. Crystal Optical Theory. Collected papers on quartz optics. Published by the Zeiss Central Factory. Overview. Current research in Orbital technology. Specific topics. 1. Analysis of orbital properties as quartz interfaces. Number 2. Research and development of high-powered orbital guns using defect-free crystals. 3. Statistical prediction of interference field formation due to precipitation defects. Number 4. Relationship between blade geometry and propulsion efficiency under low orbital pressure. 5. Accelerating mechanical computation using orbital storage gear trains. In the 50 years since the Orbital Revolution, the Central Factory has continued to pursue innovation in orbital technology, leading to numerous practical applications. Today, the fruits of our research have permeated society, significantly contributing to industrial growth. However, despite these remarkable achievements, basic research has largely been overlooked. What exactly is orbital energy? And what fundamental principles govern the operation of orbits? Our understanding of these essential questions has seen little progress over the past decade or more. Now that technological research has gained unquestionable recognition in society, it is time for us to revisit these fundamental questions. Urbe woodpecker, the rare bird. The Urbe scenic route is lined with splendid, graceful trees. This renowned location frequently appeared in ancient royal literature, and researchers believe that the scenery knights once witnessed there was far more vibrant than what we see today. The lost colour referenced in poetry relates to a singular bird, the Urbe woodpecker. Today, sightings of this strikingly blue woodpecker are exceedingly rare, and its extinction has been suspected on more than a few occasions. Yet in the songs of knights, sightings of this bird were described as commonplace. There is no doubt that the Urbe woodpecker was once far more abundant than it is today. What fate could have befallen this bird in just a few hundred years? Strange habits. Despite their name, Urbe woodpeckers never actually peck at trees. Rather than choosing not to, it's more accurate to say they are unable to. Their slender, flexible beaks are perfectly adapted for plucking insects from beneath tree bark. Typically, woodpeckers drill holes into trees to create nests, but the Urbe woodpecker lacks this ability entirely. Instead, they've developed an alternative strategy. Since they can't build their own nests, they simply take over existing ones made by other woodpeckers. With their specialized insect-catching beaks and sturdy burrowed wooden homes, it seemed their prosperity would last indefinitely. Invasion of an introduced species. Change arrived abruptly. A large, unfamiliar species of woodpecker suddenly appeared in the forest, having travelled by ship from a distant land. As navigation and technology improved and trade flourished, ship traffic increased significantly. However, humans weren't the only passengers hidden among the cargo. Foreign creatures also arrived in growing numbers. With the introduction of this larger species, Bluebell's native woodpeckers gradually left Urbe forest, scattering to new habitats. Hydrate. Can do that. For the Urbe woodpeckers, whose survival relied on existing nests, these newcomers with differently sized nests posed significant challenges. Yet the Urbe woodpeckers remained in the forest, aware that dispersing would make finding suitable nests even harder. Without nests, they couldn't reproduce, leading to a steady decline in their chances for survival and plunging them into a prolonged period of decline. Cleverness backfires. The Urbe woodpeckers once thrived by cleverly utilizing nests built by others. However, having abandoned their ability to survive independently, they could not adapt to rapid environmental changes. Meanwhile, other woodpecker species continued to prosper despite repeated invasions by introduced species. There is much to learn from the fate of these small birds. If you ever spot a bluebird along a tree-lined path, please remember the long journey they have endured. Hertz's Adventure, Volume 1. The Adventures of Young Hertz, The Battle with the Bespectacled Genie, Part 1. Young Hertz continued his journey, pushing up his slipping glasses with one finger. As far as the eye could see, the land stretched out in pure white. The ground was thickly blanketed in grains of sand. Fluffy and light like freshly fallen snow. Are we near the river yet? Came the raspy voice of young Midas from behind, the slender boy whose hair was the colour of tobacco, spilling from a cigarette butt, but was Hertz's trusty companion, always following him on adventures without complaint. Almost there, Hertz answered without looking back. The two friends were heading toward a lone river that cut through the heart of the White Desert. This was no ordinary river. Its banks were known as the final resting spot for travellers and their camels before braving the desert crossing. Young Hertz and his friend Midas also planned to camp by the riverside tonight. But, are you sure it's safe? Midas asked, peeling the silver wrapper off a half-melted candy. Heard rumours there's a demon around here. I say it's completely indiscriminate and swallows anything whole. I'm sure it's just a rumour, Hertz replied casually. We'll worry about it if a demon actually shows up. Just as he laughed, a voice spoke up from behind him. Then you'd better start worrying right now. Hertz spun around in surprise and saw an elderly genie wrapped in a pitch-black robe. The figure was hunched over, its back even more curved than a cat's. A pair of round glasses rested upon a hooked nose, and upon closer inspection, it was difficult to tell whether the face belonged to an old man or an old woman. Midas stood frozen, staring at the robed figure beside him. I'm fine, he quickly stammered when he noticed Hertz's gaze, his face paler than sand. I just swallowed my candy, that's all. My candy whole, that's all. The elderly genie's cheeks twisted into a strange grin, as if something else lived beneath their skin. Oh ho, swallowed whole. How cruel. Poor little candy. The genie shook its head rapidly. unconcerned that its glasses were slipping down its nose. I shall avenge the poor candy's suffering. I'll digest you filthy brats down to your bones and scatter you as dust across the desert. The genie's cloudy eyes rolled toward Midas. Suddenly the robe fluttered open, and a withered branch-like arm shot out. Genie's fingertips, sharp as a trident, aimed straight for Midas's terrified face, or so it seemed. Instead, the hand passed harmlessly in front of the boy's nose, stabbing uselessly into empty air. The genie tilted its head in confusion for a moment, then seemed to realize something. Hastily, it brought both hands to its face and carefully adjusted the glasses that had slipped crookedly down its nose. I've had bad eyesight since I was little too, Bert said to the genie, but yours must be really terrible. At the boy's words, new wrinkles appeared on the genie's face. How did you know? The genie pushed its glasses firmly up its nose and turned towards Hertz. How did you know my eyesight was bad? Hertz and Midas exchanged glances. Meanwhile, something else seemed to click inside the genie's head. Ah, I see now. Hey boy, the genie pointed a skeletal finger at Hertz's glasses. Those spectacles of yours. They're magical spectacles, aren't they? What? Oh, magical spectacles. Ignoring the boy's confusion, the black-robed genie gazed dramatically skyward, its body trembling once again. The bee continued. The Adventures of Young Hertz, The Battle with the Bespectacled Genie, Part 2. Those spectacles are a fearsome magical tool that can reveal anyone's true nature. No lie can withstand their power. After dramatically trembling, this time carefully checking first that its glasses hadn't slipped, the genie fixed young Hertz with an intense stare. Such an item is wasted on a brat like you. Hand it over quietly or else. Before finishing the sentence, its arm shot out again, grabbing a stone large enough to require both hands and stuffing it into its wide-open, glowing red mouth. With a gust of wind, the genie closed its mouth and swallowed the stone whole. Immediately afterward, a loud splash echoed, as if something had fallen into the bottom of a deep well. Do you understand now? If you refuse to surrender the spectaculous, next time it will be you who becomes my sweet little candies. Midas looked fearfully at Hertz. Did you see that huge mouth? What should we do? This must really be the rumored genie. This is a problem, Hertz replied. Without my glasses, I can't continue my journey. Even as he spoke, another rock at their feet disappeared into the genie's mouth, followed by a heavy splash echoing from within its cavernous black robe. But if we get eaten, it'll all be over, Midas shuddered, imagining the fate of the swallowed candy. You're right. I suppose we have no choice, Hertz stepped toward the genie. Alright, I'll do as you say. I really don't want to be eaten after all. Oh, clever child, the genie said, their eyes crinkling into deep mountainous wrinkles as it regarded Hertz. Without a word, Hertz removed his glasses and placed them at the genie's feet. This is the magical spectaculus. The genie's voice trembled as it leaned towards Hertz's glasses. Impatiently discarding its own pair, it groped around until it found what it sought and firmly placed the spectaculus on its face. Oh, this truly is the magical spectaculus. The genie spun around, its robe fluttering as it shook with joy. With these, nothing can frighten me. With one final booming shout, the genie vanished as abruptly as it had appeared. Only the echo of its voice lingered over the white sand, leaving behind the two children alone. Midas slowly looked around. The genie, it's gone. The shadowy black robe was nowhere to be seen. Noticing Hertz's relieved expression, Midas felt a pang of sympathy and searched his pocket for a candy. Approaching Hertz, who stood where the genie had been, Midas peeled back half the wrapper and offered it to him. Don't feel too down. You can always start your journey again. No, I think I'll be fine, Hertz replied warmly to Midas's comforting words. He picked something up from the sand, gently blew on it, and continued thoughtfully, as if recalling something important. The genie really did have terrible eyesight. When Hertz turned around, Midas smiled as well, at the sight of something familiar resting on his face. It seems the genie accidentally took its own glasses in the end. Then the glasses you're wearing now are absolutely, positively mine, Hertz confirmed, accepting Midas's candy and carefully placing it into his mouth, making sure not to swallow it whole. Even if magical glasses really existed, they'd be useless to the genie, Hertz said, pushing up his glasses as always. After all, it always removes its glasses at the most crucial moment. End of the battle with the bespectacled genie. 31 cypress trees. Gentle farmer Siplot planted 5 cypress trees tall. Gentle farmer Siplot tended carefully to one and all. Gentle farmer Siplot, that year a plague of pests spread. Gentle farmer Siplot, all 5 beloved trees were dead. Gentle farmer Siplot planted 7 cypress trees more. Gentle farmer Siplot gave them fertilizer more than before. Gentle farmer Siplot, that year the snow fell onslaught. Gentle farmer Siplot, all his trees drooped and dropped. Gentle farmer Siplot planted 9 more trees in rows. Gentle farmer Siplot gave them more fertilizer to grow. Gentle farmer Siplot, his trees were too close and blocked the sun. Gentle farmer Siplot, the snow came down again and toppled each one. Gentle farmer Siplot planted 11 trees anew. Gentle farmer Siplot pulled the weak ones so only strong ones grew. Gentle farmer Siplot, that year the bugs and snow came through. Gentle farmer Siplot, but the strong trees grew and grew and grew. Gentle farmer Siplot planted 32 cypress trees. Gentle farmer Siplot hoped for one tree to grow with ease. Gentle farmer Siplot gave them love and care and trust. Gentle farmer Siplot lost 31 trees to the dust. Luke's Diary, the very first book we get other than the first libel news. I'm a bracer. I live in a small rural town and my job is to keep the peace around here. Today I took on some requests and headed out to do them. My first task was milking cows at the ranch, and the next one was plowing fields on the farm. Those things were super easy for me. Then came my last request, babysitting. At first, I thought babysitting would be a piece of cake. But I was too naive. There were 7 kids in that house, and even for someone like me, handling that was exhausting. I had to soothe crying babies, change diapers, break up fights, do laundry, clean the house, and even walk the dog. Tasks that went way beyond babysitting. Although I was starving and completely fed up, I made sure to report back to the guild. It would have been embarrassing to give up like a loser. When I finally got back to the guild, the other bracers were staring at me. That's right, I'm quite a famous bracer in this town, so it's normal for others to pay attention. They're probably just jealous of my achievements. As I was about to go to the desk to report my bracer work, someone suddenly grabbed me at the back of my collar and pulled me backward. When I turned around, it was someone scarier than any monster. My dad. He smacked me on the head and shouted, "How long do you plan to keep playing bracer instead of helping out at home?" Then he dragged me back home and lectured me for a long time. I didn't even do anything wrong. How dare he treat a bracer like this? I'm a self-appointed bracer. Today, once again, I'll protect the peace of the neighborhood and solve any requests that come my way. Alright, now we're up to the Cornelia books. Alright. I will just do a small 2-minute rest. Alright. Time for Cornelia. Six, 11, 17, 23, 30, 37, 42, 48, 54, 61, 69 pages. Number 1. Imperial Chronicle 1. I stood before the revolving door, lightly tapping the heels of my boots against the pavement, pulling up the collar of my coat and tucking my chin down. I glanced at my reflection in the curved glass. Short cropped hair, a plain leather coat, and equally plain leather boots stared back at me. In truth, the boots were custom made and reinforced with steel plates, though no one would ever know at a glance. An utterly ordinary appearance, something essential in my line of work. From the pewter-coloured morning mist came the rhythmic footsteps of passers-by along the boulevard, regular as the ticking of a clock. Occasionally, the cries of street vendors interrupted this flow, only to soon be swallowed by the melodic drums of monotony. You see, mornings in the Imperial capital are always grey. I snatched a magazine from a nearby vendor, tossing Samira behind me as payment. The Imperial Chronicle, so familiar. Even the ink smudges on the page seemed to remain constant. Roughly flipping open the cover, my eyes skimmed over the pages until I drew in a sharp breath. At the very bottom of the society section, I spotted those words. My gaze was instantly drawn to them, frozen in place. Iron Cellnet. I stared at the name until the letters lost all meaning, becoming nothing more than smudges of darkness on a page of white. A few seconds of emptiness followed, and then my eyes finally moved on, continuing through the article. As I read on, memories began to replay themselves in my mind, taking me back to those fleeting days just 3 years past when I first heard that name. The Imperial capital must have been just as grey then as it was today. At merely 22, I was younger then, more full of hope and recklessness. I checked my appearance at the boutique door as usual, then lightly stepped toward the Micht Imperial factory. Owner Micht had arranged for me to pick up a new job. Micht was a dull, middle-aged man who ran a small workshop. I had been tinkering with ornaments since I was a kid, but I was one of the few regulars at his shop. Passing through a damp alleyway and ducking under a rotting wooden door, I saw the dim glow of the ornament lamp at the entrance of his half-underground workshop. Micht first started giving me jobs during the turmoil of the 100-Day War. Back then, relations between Libel and the Empire were at their worst, and imports of ornaments had almost completely stopped. Micht, teaming up with a cast of shady characters, got involved in ornament smuggling and roped me in as his accomplice, giving me a role as a courier. Being a teenager with no connections or prospects to speak of, I jumped at the opportunity. Even after relations with the kingdom normalized, I continued with the work. Before long, I had become a courier specializing in stolen goods. The thrill of it all was intoxicating, and despite my better judgment, I had no intention of quitting. No other job paid like this one. No job I could get anyway. Dressing inconspicuously, I hid goods inside my hat and trousers, repeatedly crossing the border into Libel. My wallet grew thicker with each trip, but the need to change aliases often had led me to accumulate quite a few identities over the years. It was easygoing Phil, quick-handed Rooney, and cowardly Chris. I was all of them, and none of them. Yet Micht always called me Toby. It was the alias I used for our first job, and it was the one I liked best. Part 2. Chapter 2. Activation. Yo, Toby, perfect timing, Micht called out to me, shifting around behind the counter. He placed the pastry he'd been eating on his lap and clapped his powdered sugar-covered hands together, releasing a sweet aroma of baked apples and spice that wafted through the dim store. The goods just arrived, he added, twisting his upper body to pull something wrapped in old magazine paper from the shelf behind him. He quickly handed it over to me. What's it this time? I asked, already knowing it was pointless to inquire further. The usual spot in the kingdom, Micht replied, ignoring my question, as he spread out a set of train and airship tickets. Don't worry about the details, Toby. Just be your usual smart self. He sighed deeply before reaching down to grab another bear-shaped pastry. Before he could even lift it to his mouth, I was already out the door. The old paper parcel bounced lightly inside my bag, and feeling it jostle by my side, I realized that whatever it was probably stolen. Not that it bothered me. Carrying unknown items was just part of the job. And I'd never had any trouble before. Thanks to my work, my knowledge and skill with ornaments and orbal arts had become quite advanced. So when I noticed some men looking at me suspiciously at the station, I didn't feel overly nervous. The platform was crowded with passengers waiting for the train bound for the kingdom. The benches were full, leaving me no choice but to stand near the entrance. As I shifted my bag around, I spotted two men among the crowd. They stood in front of the ticket gate, right on the spot where the Imperial crest, a horse's head, was depicted on the tiled floor. They spoke in hushed tones. Soon another man joined them. They were hardly inconspicuous, exceptionally large and sporting similar hairstyles. The trio stood out even in the bustling station. I turned my gaze away from them, adjusted my grip on the bag, and let my fingertips brush up against the orbment in my pocket. A woman's voice announced the train's arrival, cutting through the tension in the air. The distant, low hum of the orbital engine pressed down upon my shoulders. "It'll be fine," I whispered softly to myself. With a loud screech of brakes, gleaming black iron mass slid down the tracks. I could feel the vibrations in the air as the orbital engine reversed thrust. Swept along with the surge of passengers leaving the waiting area, I was carried toward the passenger car door. As I passed the conductor, I glanced briefly toward the ticket gate. The men from earlier had vanished, only the tiled depiction of the horse remained, leering at my flushed face as I stepped forward into the unknown. Chapter 3: Sister. The train sped through the mist as though it were flying, with water droplets splashing against the window glass, forming streaks that wriggled endlessly in place. Resting my forehead against the cool surface, I rubbed 2 tickets together between my fingers. From the Imperial capital, the railway would take me far south to a border city, where I'd transfer to an airship bound for the kingdom. Both tickets were for first-class seats. The passenger car was nearly full, yet no one sat beside me. Perhaps Micht had deliberately arranged it that way, suggesting that this was likely a big score for him too. "Are you heading to the kingdom?" Startled, I raised my head. A lone woman stood in the aisle. She was in her mid-30s and wore a fur coat, fastened with 3 buckles. Light brown hair barely reached her shoulders, and her eyes mirrored that same hue. "May I?" she asked politely, bending her knees slightly as she gestured to the empty seat beside me. "The smoke back there is absolutely terrible," she murmured, glancing toward the rear, where a dank purple haze lingered. I nodded and moved my bag closer to the window. She thanked me and sat down. Soon she began chatting eagerly and I played along, pretending I was traveling to the kingdom on orbment-related business. She shared that she was involved in church charity work and had business in a border town. "They call me Sister, actually," she said, crossing her black leather boot-clad legs. She chuckled softly, adding, "It's just a nickname though. Sister Carnelia. That's what they called her." Sister Carnelia and I continued chatting casually for some time. As the sun began to fade in the west, orange rays swept across the car, illuminating the fluttering groves outside. Bathed in the evening glow, her brown eyes took on a reddish hue, and I found myself wondering if her nickname had something to do with the rich crimson color of Carnelia. Eventually, the train began to slow, and she returned to her seat to gather her belongings. Out of habit, I checked my bag and the ornament I used for arts. Both the parchment-wrapped package and the ornament were secured snugly to my waist by a chain. "Must check, thank you, Millie." A woman's voice announced our on-time arrival and mentioned drizzly weather at our destination. Several passengers sighed in disappointment. Soon, raindrops began to splatter against the window, and the dark silhouette of the town quickly drew close. The station's signal lights scattered angular reflections through the droplets, sending a foreboding chill down my spine. A metallic screech filled the air, accompanied by the jolt of the orbital engine's reversing thrust. An announcement echoed, reminding passengers to watch their belongings, and slowly, people began rising from their seats. I stood up as well, gripping my bag tightly, my eyes following the station attendant as he waved the signal flag through the rain. In the aisle, I encountered Sister Carnelia again. As I stepped back to let her pass, she suddenly stumbled, falling toward me and grabbing my shoulder to steady herself. Gave me an embarrassed smile before stepping aside. I nodded slightly and moved forward into the aisle, yet almost immediately, Carnelia followed closely behind me. A swell of unease bubbled within me. My right hand instinctively slipped into my pocket. searching for the orbment, but the familiar touch of cold metallic brass was gone. Suddenly, a powerful force twisted my wrist upward. A sharp metallic click rang through the air, followed by a sharp pinch in my back near my kidneys. "I've got what you're looking for right here, Toby," Sister Carnelia whispered softly behind my ear. "Don't move or make a fuss. No sense in unnecessary bloodshed here, right?" She shifted her grip slightly on my wrist, and colorless sparks exploded behind my eyes. Chapter 4: Human Bullet. Sister Carnelia spoke gently, yet my right hand throbbed with intense pain. "You'll behave yourself, won't you, Toby?" Tears streamed uncontrollably down my face. Genuine sobs, not single tears. I nodded vigorously, and immediately, the pressure on my wrist eased, the pain vanishing in an instant. "Don't misunderstand, Toby. I'm your guardian, sent by the goddess Adios," she whispered into my ear, instructing me to look out the window. The way she emphasized the "by" in Toby sent a strange shiver down my spine. Passengers began slowly filing out of the train. Nudged forward by Carnelia, I peered out onto the platform. At the foot of the stairs leading to the main gate stood the trio I'd seen at the Imperial Capital Station. "Looks like they're giving you quite the welcome," she chuckled softly under her breath. "Give me back my orbment," I pleaded, twisting my neck to try and face her, yet Carnelia offered no reply. Attendants greeted us on either side as we stepped onto the dull grey platform. "Damn it, you idiots. How can you not see what's happening to me?" Squinting against the misty rain spraying into my eyes, I slowly descended the wet stairs, half a step at a time. From behind, Carnelia effortlessly matched my pace. My welcoming party waited just below, and I wondered if she merely planned to hand me over to these people. As the trio's faces drew nearer, heat gathered in my left hand, the one gripping the bag. Halfway down the stairs, Carnelia suddenly spoke. "Toby, look down." Obediently, I lowered my gaze to the rain-soaked tips of my boots. Just as I exhaled, Carnelia shoved me forcefully. I watched as little droplets flung from my boots back up toward the sky. My body came crashing backward into the grip at the bottom of the stairs. I felt my ribs crunch painfully before snapping back into place. Tumbling between the two military-looking men, I knocked them down and plunged into a puddle. The passengers' screams rang out like the screeching brakes of the train. As the world spun around me, I lay on the cold, tiled ground, and my eyes darting to my left hand. My fingers still gripped the bag tightly. Trying to pull myself from the ground, I slipped and landed face first, my chin slamming hard against the hard surface. Frantically looking around, I saw no sign of the men from before. Only Sister Carnelia remained visible on the platform above, casually holding a man slung over her shoulder like a sack of grain. Turning toward the train, she tossed him onto the tracks without hesitation. Finally, I managed to push myself onto one knee, the world still spinning around me. Sister Carnelia's boots approached, and she took me by the hand. At first, I didn't notice the strange sensation that ran through me as she gripped me. "Let's go, Toby." Pulling me to my feet, we soon broke into a full sprint. A crowd of onlookers parted noisily to let us through. My bag swung loosely from my left arm, tapping rhythmically against my thigh. Only after passing through the ticket gate did Sister Carnelia release my hand, which was accompanied by a tearing sound. It was then I noticed that her hands were stained red with blood. Still running, and glanced back toward the platform. The three who had come to confront me were nowhere to be found. Chapter 5: Messenger of Repose. I stared blankly at the butter slowly melting atop the cold pancakes. Picking up my fork, I gently prodded at it before flipping it over and smearing it around. The longer I did this, the less interested I became in what was on my plate. Above me, the lamp buzzed softly, casting a flickering amber glow. Outside, the rain showed no signs of stopping. Leaning close to the glass, I peered through the watery veil streaming down the window, trying to make out the dim street beyond. The station should have been at the end of the road, but from this tavern, it was obscured behind a number of buildings, offering no clear view of the platform. "You don't need to worry," Sister Cornelia said, returning as she wiped her hands with a pristine white handkerchief. "They won't be following us anytime soon." She then spread the square piece of cloth neatly across her lap like a napkin. Watching the graceful movement of... reading Cornelia before we do the final sequences of the game. Watching the graceful movement of her fingertips, the metallic scent of blood returned viscerally to my nostrils. "How can you be so sure?" "It's how they operate," she replied simply. A server approached and noisily placed a plate in front of her. Sister Cornelia pulled the porcelain dish closer, eyeing the freshly grilled slab of meat. "Oh, you're very close." Lightly sucking the sauce from her fingertips, I tossed my fork down and leaned heavily back in my chair. Outside the window, town gradually darkened into shades of ever-deepening blue. By the time Sister Cornelia had finished her steak, night had completely descended upon the city. "How do you know they won't come after us?" I asked once more. Cornelia wiped her plate clean with a piece of dark bread. "It's their formation, 3 men per unit," she began, and then added as an afterthought, "By them I mean the Jaeger Corps." My mind immediately flashed back to the men I'd seen at the station. The Jaeger Corps, an honorary title given to certain mercenary groups. As Mick had told me about them once, I followed Mira. Wherever Mira flowed, they would work. His words echoed in my head. "They're warmongers. Orders don't matter to them. Don't you ever get involved with guys like that." Unconsciously, I tapped my foot against my back to reassure myself it was still there. "You're almost done with daybreak." 1. "Yay, that's good." "It's simple," Sister Cornelia said, reaching for her dessert. "You're carrying something dangerous, Toby, and someone hired the Jaeger Corps to eliminate you. So they're not after me? It's the package they want?" I asked nervously. "It's all the same to them," Cornelia said, finishing her tea in one swift gulp. "They'll kill the owner before ever checking the contents. You slaughter the cow before grilling the steak, don't you?" As she spoke, she sliced into an apple pie with a knife still drizzled with animal fat. Powdered sugar danced up from her dish and into the golden light of the lamps, and I felt a sharp pain pierce my stomach. I couldn't help but wonder how Mick was doing. My restless thoughts halted as I noticed Sister Cornelia's hand freeze. She stared into the darkness with the intensity of a hunting dog, then abruptly tossed something shiny onto the table and stood up. It was my orbment. "Where are you going?" Ignoring my question, Sister Cornelia fastened her coat buckles. I swiftly fastened her coat buckles. "You have good taste, Toby," she remarked, placing one foot at a time on her chair to tighten her bootlaces. "If you can operate that augment, You're quite impressive. You'd make a decent bracer. I asked you where you were going, I repeated impatiently. Don't worry, she replied calmly. We'll meet again tomorrow morning. With those parting words, she disappeared through the entrance to the washroom. Almost immediately after, two men entered the establishment. They walked straight toward me and stopped at my table. One of them, bearing a shining emblem on his chest, spoke without even looking at me. We're from the Bracer Guild. Sorry to interrupt your meal, but you're coming with us. Chapter 6. Situation Assessment. On the table lay my orbment, my empty bag, and the old parchment-wrapped parcel. Brace's eyes shifted repeatedly between my face and the items scattered before him, as if he were comparing them. He stroked his chin thoughtfully, deliberately showing off the heavy leather gauntlet on his right hand. They had brought me to the second floor of an inn and tavern. After carefully examining the layout, the bracers led me to a room at the far end of the hall. Apparently, there was no guild branch nearby. The thinner of the two sat down in front of me first. I asked their names, but quickly forgot which one was Clay and which was Pavel. After they searched me, the one with the gauntlet, either Pavel or Clay, returned and whispered something to his partner. It seemed they hadn't found a woman after all. Their interest seemed entirely focused on Sister Carnelia and the Jaegers. In response to their questions, I told them everything Carnelia had said on the train. Then, playing the victim, I asked them about her in return, though I did consider myself a victim. The woman's name is Selny. Ein Selny, the thinner one said, reading from his notebook. She's a former Jaeger, but her current affiliation and activities are unknown. She's certainly not someone an upstanding citizen should associate with, the gauntleted man remarked pompously, reaching for the parchment-wrapped parcel. Watching me carefully, he unfolded the parcel in the center of the table. Inside was a lump of metal covered in clay. I was delivering it to a research facility, I lied smoothly, listing addresses of non-existent clients. The bracers dutifully recorded every word. Ultimately, I was to stay at the same inn as the bracers. They planned to escort me to the guild branch the next day to file a report about the incident at the station. That was fine by me. All I wanted was to survive the night. I woke at sunrise, breathing a sigh of relief to see the morning sun. The bracers were not in the room, but I could hear their voices from the hallway. As I slipped my arm into my jacket, sharp pain in my right elbow reminded me of Sister Carnelia. Suddenly overcome by an indescribable anxiety, I hurriedly began adjusting my orbment. Opening the back cover, I carefully picked up the quartz with an oil-treated deerskin cloth. It took less than 5 minutes to rearrange the quartz into different slots, switching up my focus to lighter arts. As I tightened each screw back into place, my nerves finally settled, and I laid back down on the bed. Alright, ads are starting, so we'll take another short break, and we'll finish up the rest of Carnelia, and then we'll go into the endgame. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, and we're back from the ads. It's time for us to continue the story. Just then, a tall woman, apparently an inn servant, entered carrying hot water for washing. She placed the steaming basin heavily onto the table and silently began stripping the sheets from the bed. Forced out of bed, I reluctantly approached the basin. At that moment, two shadows swiftly passed by the open door. "They're here," I heard myself whisper. With remarkable calmness, I closed the door, locked it, and stood against the wall, clutching a bar of soap. I was still clutching a bar of soap. On the other side of the earthen wall, shouts erupted simultaneously with the sound of flesh and bone colliding. I grasped the orbment I had just adjusted, pulling the chain at my waist. 2 bracers and 2 attackers, myself included. We had the advantage in terms of numbers. As I turned toward the door, I heard myself mutter again from somewhere far away. 2? The sister had said one unit always consisted of 3 people. Then, where was the 3rd? Before I could finish the thought, something wrapped around my neck, yanking me backward before I could cry out. Then, everything went dark. From the corner of my blurred vision, I saw the woman gripping the sheets with bloodshot eyes. The same one who had brought the basin earlier. Still collapsed on the floor, I activated my orbment and unleashed an arm. Compressed air sliced past my thigh, folding the woman in half and hurtling her toward the window. White linen and fresh blood swirled in the wake of the gusting wind. Chapter 7. Bound for aid use. I inhaled sharply, a sound like a draft whistling through a crack. With my hand still clutching the orbment, I loosened the sheets that were digging into my neck. Turning my head aside, saliva spilled from my mouth. Behind me, something moved with a heavy thud. The female Jaeger sprang upward like a clockwork doll. Even though I had struck her squarely in the stomach with my art, she moved as if nothing had happened. Instinctively, I stepped back, and a sound like splintering wood echoed near my shoulder. In the next instant, Sister Carnelia burst into the room, fragments of the now shattered door scattering in her wake. Her arm snapped like a whip, striking the female Jaeger's neck as she passed. The woman spun through the air, crashing headfirst onto the floor. Sister Carnelia leapt gracefully, knees tucked high like a dancer, and drove her boot heel into the fallen woman's throat. She glanced at me, beckoning briefly, then leapt casually out the window to the ground below, as easily as stepping off a stool. Grabbing my bag, I pulled it close to my chest and followed after her. Sister Carnelia caught me as she waded below, and together we dashed into the early morning streets. The whistle of the first train echoed sharply in our ears. Sister Carnelia handed me a ticket, and as I reached to take it, I finally tossed aside the bar of soap I had been tightly gripping all this time. The train car was filled with the haze of tobacco smoke, mingling with the scent of freshly printed magazines and the sound of clearing throats. I felt terribly uneasy. Boarding the train bound for the imperial capital while clutching my bag felt strangely surreal. It's just like an orbman, Carnelia said, pressing a white handkerchief to my leg, which had been torn open by the art. She placed a folded magazine on her knee and tapped it lightly with her finger. It was the Imperial Chronicle. Freshly printed that morning, a brief article reported the suspicious death of a workshop owner in the Imperial capital, and for the first time I learned how old Micht was. "We just barely made it," Sister Carnelia said, slipping the magazine into her coat pocket. 5 more minutes in that place, Toby, and you'd have been on your way to meet Adios too. "Don't understand," I said, shaking my head. I simultaneously pictured Mick's cold body behind the counter, and a lump of metal wrapped in scrap paper. What exactly was this thing, and why was I risking my life for it? "It's an artifact," she replied, which I snorted dismissively. "An ancient relic? I've smuggled plenty of those before." Artifacts were remnants of ancient civilizations, mysterious devices resembling ornaments. They were popular among nobles as antiques, and among the stolen goods I'd smuggled, there were many that were deemed relics. An announcement of our arrival echoed through the train, and Sister Carnelia again crossed her legs. "The Jaegers are after it, and the church sent me. I'm here to protect both you and keep the artifact from falling into their hands." I stared down anxiously at the bag resting at my feet as the trains quietly slowed. Chapter 8: Imperial Capital Depths. We moved between the seats, concealing ourselves behind the backs of passengers. Every brush of the bag against my knee heightened my awareness of the relic's presence, as if I had accidentally touched another person. Inside that cheap cloth tote was an ancient relic that the Jaegers were desperately pursuing. "Micht, you old fool. This was way too much for us to handle." I closed my eyes and called out to Carnelia. "Are we heading straight to the church once we get off?" "Yes, that's the plan," she answered, her gaze casually drifting toward the window. "It's the only way you'll survive." The morning station was bustling with arriving trains and packed with passengers. The sky hung in its usual pale grey, and everyone stood motionlessly on the platform, collars turned up, huddled together like waterfowl on a winter mud flat. "No pushing me down the stairs this time, got it?" I muttered. "Not this time," she replied with a hint of mischief. "Though, if there were more of you, I'd seriously consider it." Apparently, the number of people awaiting our arrival had significantly increased. "I don't like our odds," she whispered into my ear. "We can't leave through the ticket gate." We stepped out of line, pushed open the door opposite the platform, and jumped down onto the railroad tracks. The frigid wind of the Imperial capital blew unhindered along the tracks. We slipped between train cars and pressed ourselves into the shadows of a large freight car. On the cargo platform, workers busily unloaded containers. For a smuggler, sneaking in and out of a station building was child's play. I showed my ticket and approached one of the workers, spinning my usual tale about a celebrity and their manager. Midway through my explanation, I gestured toward the sister. She struck a graceful pose, flashing a seductive smile. Though she claimed to be an opera singer, she looked more like a barroom diva. Still, the workers gladly let us pass. "You've got real talent, Toby," she said as she hovered through the warehouse district. "You should seriously consider a career change." Again with the bracer stuff, I joked, expecting her to dismiss the idea. I turned the question back on her. "If you're so in love with the idea of being a bracer, why don't you become one?" I stopped in front of a wire fence at the edge of the district. "Don't be ridiculous," she laughed, shifting aside a drainage cover. They'd shoot me dead the moment I stepped foot in the guild. Below, we entered a winding stone tunnel that stretched endlessly beneath the Imperial capital. As we crawled forward, faint beams of light filtered down from the street gutters above, illuminating our path like scattered street lamps. People's shoes passed right above our noses, yet no one noticed us. I gazed longingly at the world above, just beyond the thin paving stones. Jaegers, artifacts, a sudden and senseless death. Things I'd never even considered now seemed to be closing in around me. Eventually, the seemingly endless tunnel opened into a high-ceilinged, stone-built sewer. "We'll take this route to get closer to the cathedral," Sister Cornelia said, raising an eyebrow and pointing upward. "It should be safer than going above ground." "But what if they attack the church?" I asked, the sound of splashing water echoing from somewhere afar. Cornelia grabbed my hand and stepped forward into the consuming darkness. "Don't worry, Toby," she said reassuringly. "Faith isn't the only thing protecting the church." Chapter 9. Cornelia. The flickering of a dying oval lamp cast thin streaks of light across the filthy water. Sister Cornelia dashed past, leaving only the sound of rushing air in her wake. Breathless, I chased after her shadow as it stretched diagonally into the distant darkness. Without slowing down, Cornelia and I ran across the moss-covered stone pavement, heading for the Septian Church Cathedral. Above ground, the distance from the railway station to the cathedral spanned about 3 city blocks. If we could climb up through the drainage channel beyond the water level control gate, we'd emerge in the plaza in the front of the cathedral. In the distance, another oval lamp flickered into view. Sister Cornelia glanced back at me and extended her right arm, signaling that we would turn right at the next corner. She then rolled her shoulders, caring for what I didn't know. Perhaps Sister Cornelia already saw what awaited us. Beneath the flickering glow, her figure vanished around the corner. 1, 2, 3. 3 dull thuds echoed rapidly, followed by something splashing into the water. As I rounded the corner, 2 men sprawled awkwardly on the ground came into view, forcing me to instinctively dodge to the side of the path. Ahead of me, Cornelia continued running at her usual pace, as if nothing had happened. "It's Cornelia!" A furious shout erupted from behind, causing me to turn around. One of the men lying on the ground opened his bloodied mouth and screamed, "Cornelia's here!" Sister didn't even glance back. "Thank you, Minimixie, for the stretch." "Looks like they're serious," she said, her eyes fixed on an empty point in the air. "Were those men back there your former comrades?" Cornelia turned her reddish-brown eyes toward me. I nodded, deciding not to press the matter. I simply kept moving forward, watching the shadows at my feet shift beneath the augment lamp's glow. "You remember the woman I fought at the inn?" Cornelia suddenly asked. "The reason I quit being a mercenary was because I didn't want to die like that." I glanced up at her profile. "I didn't want to disappear like that," Sister repeated softly. "So if I'm going to die anyway, I want to fight for something, leave proof that I lived." Feeling an indescribable sense of dread, I continued running alongside her. Suddenly, between my breaths, I thought I heard a faint splash behind us. I quickly turned around. "Toby, you noticed it too, didn't you?" She gradually slowed her pace, eventually coming to a halt. Their reinforcements are catching up. I reached an intersection where two waterways crossed. Across the wide, foul-smelling current, a dimly lit gate was visible. Leaning against the damp brick wall, I paused to catch my breath. "They're probably waiting to ambush us," she said, glaring at the opposite bank. Then she cast a wary glance behind us, but we don't have time for a detour. She inhaled deeply 2 or 3 times, her breath sharp and controlled. With sweaty palms, I grasped my orbment tightly and secured my bag strap around my wrist. After quickly checking her shoes as usual, she straightened her posture. Holding our breath, we plunged headlong into the dark, sticky current. Chapter 10. Activation. Sister Carnelia dashed toward the opposite bank, gliding swiftly over the water, leaving dark spray in her wake. In an instant, she was far ahead of me. From the distant gate, flashes of Art's magic tore through the air in rapid succession, but none reached her. Instead, they blasted apart the sludge at the bottom of the waterway, sending shockwaves pounding against my body. Dodging the last stroke with a graceful leap, Sister landed on the shore at terrifying speed. Vaulting over the sandbag wall, she whipped her arms around fluidly, collapsing the Jaegers in one fell strike. Her arms spun swiftly like windmills, faster than any blade. Striking from unimaginable angles, her hands pierced throats, severed arteries, and withdrew just as quickly. By the time I reached the stone pavement, she stood alone, the only figure still on her feet. "Up ahead, climb the ladder to reach the cathedral," Carnelia said. She waved her hand, flung off droplets of blood like a child who had dirtied herself but had forgotten her handkerchief, her eyes sparkling in the lingering thrill of battle. "Reinforcements are coming. Let's hurry." The low sound of footsteps splashing through water was already close enough to hear clearly. Stepping over the bodies of the fallen Jaegers, we headed toward the dried-up canal. Bracing myself against the wet stones, I ducked beneath the half-open sluice gate. As a droplet splashed onto the back of my neck, I paused, noticing a whirring sound above me. The unmistakable noise of an augment powering Arts. "Toby!" A flash of white filled my vision. I thought I heard Cornelia's voice, yet at the same moment, I felt a hand reach out from somewhere, grabbing my shoulder and yanking me backward. I was pulled clear just as the magic exploded against the stones. A deafening roar pummeled my entire body as I crashed into the ground, landing hard on my back. I flipped over onto my stomach, choking on filthy water as I raised my head. Through the swirling dust, I saw the sluice gate, now billowing thick clouds of debris, like something from a nightmare. Jaegers burst forth from within, blades gleaming in their hands. I struggled in the mud, watching helplessly as their faces drew nearer, leaping forward to strike me down. Instinctively, I rolled to the side, narrowly evading a sword slash, then blocked the next strike with my bag. The fabric tore silently, sending the wrapped bundle of old paper tumbling onto the stones. My fingers desperately reached out for my orbment, but felt only useless chains. One mercenary fixed his eyes on my throat, raising his long sword high. Suddenly, a shadow appeared behind him, Carnelia. Her hand moved effortlessly and the man vanished, leaving only his sword clattering to the ground. With a sharp ringing sound, she dropped to one knee. "I'm sorry, Toby," she murmured, eyes downcast as trails of blood ran down her cheeks. "Perhaps the goddess calls for you too," she said softly, rising once more. Her fluttering coat was torn to shreds, damaged from the Art's attacks earlier. It must have shielded me from it. Frothy red blood seeped from her chest. Picking up the fallen artifact from the ground, I peeled away the soaked paper and grasped the cold metal tightly against my orbment. The Jaegers no longer advanced. Instead, they stood shoulder to shoulder, blades drawn, blocking the path to the gate. As Sister Carnelia let out a wordless battle cry, I activated my orbment. Just as I unleashed my art, a scorching blade grazed my cheek. Immediately, I was shoved aside, falling forward onto the ground. Above me, I saw Sister Carnelia's back. Her right arm fell limp, hanging uselessly from her shoulder. She tilted her head downward slightly and collapsed before me, sliding gently to the ground. I caught her in my arms, blasting away and attacking Jaeger with an art. But I knew that was the end. Countless swords glared at us menacingly. Raising my right hand, still gripping the activated ornament, I shielded us as best I could. The blade sliced through the air, and I closed my eyes awaiting the blow. And yet, behind the darkness of my eyelids, an endless expanse of white began to unfold. The final chapter, Imperial Chronicle 2. Swallowed by a world of white, I was suddenly spat on solid ground, tumbling downward. Warm earth-scented sunlight met my fingertips. Heaven's floor felt like cobblestones beneath my hands. As I groped around, my fingers brushed against coarse hair. It seemed Sister Carnelia had also joined me on this journey to Adios. A warm feeling welled deep within my chest, and I sprawled out, letting my body relax. It was then I sensed movement around me. Someone appeared to be peering closely at my face. As my vision adjusted, I saw a young girl smiling gently. She's far too young to be the goddess Adios. At that moment, a bell chimed overhead, sounding exactly like the cathedral's hourly ring. Confused, I sat up, finally awakening from my dream. Anxiously glancing around like a startled pigeon, I noticed curious onlookers. Their eyes gathered on me, silent weight pressing in from all sides. Familiar streets stretched before me, familiar sounds echoing in the distance, and familiar scents riding in the breeze. There could be no mistake. I stood once again in the plaza before the cathedral, at the heart of the imperial capital. I opened my right hand, looked down at the lump of metal Mikt had placed in my care. On the artifact, golden threads of light coiled across its surface, like veins pulsing with a quiet, ancient life. I remembered the sister's words, "It's alive." As the glow slowly dimmed, I held it tighter. Leaning against each other for support, we walked toward the towering cathedral. Overhead, the stained glass wings of the goddess Adios shimmered in the sun, stretched wide in silent vigil. What happened next unfolded with mechanical precision. The blood-stained relic, the very artifact Sister Carnelia had risked everything to protect, was handed over to His Eminence, the Cardinal, who received us at the cathedral gates. Without a word, he turned and disappeared with it behind the massive sealed doors. Inside, the Grand Hall filled quickly. Representatives of the Imperial family, powerful nobles, high-ranking officers of the Imperial army gathered. Voices hushed. Movements sharp as they launched into ceaseless negotiations. In the haze of political scheming, even the seasoned mediators dispatched by the Bracer Guild found themselves worn thin. Through it all, I remained at Sister Carnelia's side. She lay on a church pew, her breath shallow, as the real sisters gently removed her coat and carefully cut away the blood-soaked garments clinging to her body. Beneath them, to everyone's surprise, was chainmail hidden under her robes. The discovery left the sisters in disbelief. By the next day, the noble who had orchestrated the Jaeger attack finally conceded. He agreed to a settlement in exchange for an estate, and the artifact was placed under the protection of the church. As for me, I was handed a bag heavy with hush money and promptly sent off to the Republic, an elegant way of sweeping me aside. The Bracers assigned to escort me were none other than Pavlo Clay. But just before our departure, without explanation, they brought me to her. She was awake. We spoke only for a few moments. Simple words between us, but as I turned to leave, she reached out silently and offered me her hand. "Ein, my name is Ein." I clasped her pale hand, unblemished by the world, with quiet resolve. 3 years have passed since that moment, and now today, her name stares back at me from the pages of the Imperial Chronicle. Ein Cellmate. A short article follows. Early yesterday morning, found dead under mysterious circumstances in the Imperial capital. The body bore numerous external injuries. During her lifetime, the deceased was involved in charitable activities through the Septian Church, saving countless lives across the land. As I reached the final line, an image pierced my thoughts. Her lying motionless in the street, her blood-streaked face so hauntingly serene. And despite everything, despite the horror, she wore a faint smile. I tightly rolled up the magazine and gently touched the bracer emblem gleaming on my chest. Nearly 2 years have passed since I followed Sister's advice and chosen this path. At last, I grew comfortable using my real name. Toby. Sister's soft whisper echoed gently in my ears. But I was no longer Toby. Not really. I pressed my forehead against the cold, fogged-up window. In my memories, Sister's eyes sparkled like carnelian gems, her coat fluttering gracefully as she vanished into the shadows. Slowly, I opened my eyes and stared out the window. Outside, the lights of the Imperial capital melted into a hazy red blur, gradually fading into the pale white mist. The end. That's it. We've done everything.
This place is the best for shopping.
Alright, we're here. I'm feeling a bit tired. Why don't we rest a bit?
Phew. I think we've seen everything. I'm so tired now.
Let's take a break here for a while. At least there aren't any signs of trouble brewing in the capital.
Man, is that what you're so worried about? Just leave the cleanup to Dad and the others for today. He got here late, so it's only fair, right?
That's true. Guess it's just my nature to worry.
What are we gonna do with you? Anyway, we're officially senior bracers now.
Hey,
Which means we can act without
Mary.
the direct supervision of the
hello.
branches.
Welcome.
We'll get calls to help understaffed branches too, so we'll probably travel by airship a lot more.
Oh, no.
But that also means more responsibility.
How are we doing? How are you? How was dating everything? I'm doing wonderfully. I just read every single book in this game. But yeah, hello, welcome.
Yeah,
There
but
we
we can handle it.
You've come at just like the last maybe 45 minutes to an hour of game. Nice. I was looking on in yours. I saw that there was a lot of people in that. Yeah, there's 33 books. I read every single one of them out loud. Took me 2 hours and 40 minutes. Including one that teaches you how to speak cat. It's great. Yeah, I drank enough. But we're actually at the very end of the game now. But welcome everybody. I am Dark Reaver 40. VTuber, as you can easily see. I'm purple. I have horns. I'm dressed like a butler, I think. And we're about to finish my very favorite game of all time, but the remake. And also, one of my favorite moments in this whole game is this sequence. It's pretty much what hooked me onto it.
We did just stop a coup in the capital.
This is Trails in the Sky, a part of a very, very long series of games. There are 13 games in the series, all of them are connected.
And I never want to hear Dad say, "Oh, I worry about you if Joshua's not there." Again!
I don't think you have to worry about that.
I love this game so much.
I'd like to stay with you, though.
the love confessions.
What?
What? Is that a problem?
Not really.
No. It's not that. What do you mean by staying with me?
Well, we know each other, and we know each other's quirks and eccentricities. I thought it would be good for us to keep working together.
Oh, you mean as bracers? Goodness, for a second there I thought you just confessed your love for me.
Huh?
Forget I said anything.
Estelle, does that mean...
Man, it's seriously hot today. Nothing like ice cream on a hot day. As promised, it's my treat today. Wait here a sec.
Yeah.
They even did the whoosh sound.
I'm pretty sure the ice cream stand is the other way. Could it be Estelle? No, there's no way.
Oh, to be young, I can't help but envy you.
I love this scene.
Professor Alba?
Ah, it's been a while, hasn't it? There's been so much commotion lately, but it's such a relief peace has returned to this fair place. After all, they say it's a curse to live in interesting times. Oh, is something the matter? You look quite pale. You've just become a senior bracer, have you not? Try to look a little cheerful, would you? Ah, I should give you a little something too, though I'm afraid it won't be anything extravagant.
From the moment we met, I've always felt uneasy around you. I've grown used to it by now, but
Here we go.
for some reason, your existence made me tremble.
Oh?
This is a major plot
And
point too.
with all those incidents, where people's memories were erased, you were always there. You claimed you were researching something, but your timing, it was always too perfect. Kurt's reaction was the deciding factor. He had lost his memories, looking so unwell, sitting in the arena. And you were there too. Professor Alba, it was you all along, wasn't it?
I love this moment. One of my favorite moments in the
I'm
series.
in awe that you figured it out, what with your manipulated perception and memories. I'd expect nothing less from my creation.
What?
Well then, shall we lift the veil?
Evil. Yay. Backstory time.
You're...
It seems you've finally remembered who I am. I am the one who gathered the shattered pieces of your heart, the one who put them back together, restored you.
I love
The
this
one
moment.
who gave a soul to the empty puppet you once were.
With the power to warp and control a person's memory and perception. One of the 7 Anguis. Weissman the Faceless.
Yeah.
Long time no see.
There's one thing Falcom know how to do.
Enforcer number 13.
Is make a tempting ending.
The Black
Makes it
Fang.
demand the sequel.
Joshua Astray.
You've been manipulating everything from the shadows. That means Lieutenant Lawrence is...
You're quite right. I left your memories of him. So, I see you've pieced it together rather quickly. I imagine he's rather pleased about it.
Are you... Are you here to kill me?
There's no cause for concern. The first phase of our plan has concluded successfully.
This guy
I merely
is
had some
evil,
free
evil.
time and decided to pay you a visit.
The first phase. The unsealing of the ruins underground.
The gate blocking the path to the Oriole. Forcing it open was merely the first phase of our plan. It's now impossible for it to ever close again.
So this isn't over. What exactly is the Oriole? What is the Society planning? What are you planning?
If you want to know so badly, why not return to us? You could resume your former position immediately. You may be a bit rusty, yes, but I have no doubt you'll be in fighting form in no time.
His dialogue is
No
so
need to look
good.
so cross. I understand. You have a family to protect now. A father you respect, and of course, the girl you hold dear. Even if he were still on our side, throwing all that away would be absurd. That's precisely why I came to see you. As a reward for your cooperation in our plan, I have come to set you free from our society. Congratulations, Joshua. You're now free. You've done well over the past 5 years.
Bum, bum, bum.
What?
Oh dear, how disappointing. I expected you to be happy. Perhaps your emotional responses are still somewhat underdeveloped.
Cooperated? In what plan? What are you talking about? That's absurd.
Ah, my apologies. I seem to have neglected to mention it. Your role wasn't that of assassination, but of intelligence gathering.
What?
As an abandoned child, you gained his sympathy and were successfully taken in. Thus, you reported various things to our agents. Information on the Bracer Guild and details about Cassius Bright. You don't remember giving such reports, of course.
Evil
I
man.
made sure of that. S-rank Bracer, Cassius Bright. He was, without a doubt, the greatest obstacle in
But
our
in the
plan.
original,
Had he been in the nation,
every
he
single
would have
time you
quickly
met him,
crushed the colonel's
he always had his
coup
portrait
attempt.
on an angle.
So we studied
But
him
this
and
reveal,
attempted to
it was
lure
face
him
on,
away
and it
without
just-
drawing attention.
Suddenly,
Your information
just
proved
evil.
invaluable.
No. It can't be.
So, allow me to thank you again. You've done exceptionally well these last 5 years.
No! You're lying! It's all a lie! All that time I spent with Estelle, all the moments we shared.
Why are you acting so distraught? You can go on. Simply pretend nothing happened and live as before with your beloved family. As long as you stay silent, no one will ever know. But then again, perhaps that is too cruel a fate. After all, the
He
Bright
is
family
such an
is too
arsehole.
pure. Too pure for a creature like you. Has their love blinded you? You can act human all you want, but that's not who you are. You operate by pure
The
logic,
dead eyes.
driven solely to accomplish your assigned task. Your body and reflexes have been enhanced. You could slay thousands on your own. You are my ultimate creation, a weapon made of human flesh. The Black Fang. It will always be impossible for someone like you to blend in with others. Even if you stay with them, true happiness will forever be out of your reach.
Raise your hand if
So
you want to
remember,
punch this guy in the
If
face
it
now.
becomes unbearable, there's always a place for you here.
Yep,
The Society
absolutely.
of Souls under the rule of our great master. With the Ouroboros.
Actually, everybody who's in his position in that organization is an asshole.
So this is my punishment. Karen. Lev. I am.
Oh dear.
Whew, that line was so long. It's already getting dark. I wonder what Joshua thought about what I said. I'm so embarrassed.
Ah, Estelle.
Oh, Professor Alba! What a surprise to see you here.
Yes, I suppose it is. I actually just ran into Joshua. You have my congratulations on becoming senior bracers.
Thanks.
What is it?
Professor, you seem different. You seem really happy about something.
So you've noticed. Actually, I've made some exciting progress in my research. It's put me in a very good mood.
Oh, that's great!
He's so friendly.
Sorry. The ice cream is melting, so I'd better go. See you later!
When he's pretending.
I see. So she's Cassius Bright's offspring. This should prove quite entertaining.
Sorry I'm late.
Evil man.
It was so crowded, so it took forever. But look, I finally got our ice cream.
Yeah, I see. Thank you. Looks delicious.
Yeah. So, about earlier.
Oh, sorry about that. I guess I phrased that kind of weird. That would have been a pretty terrible way to tell you I love you, huh?
Wait, it wasn't that bad.
Well, there's no need to rush into anything. Just because we're senior bracers doesn't mean we can't do something else. Maybe we should both take some time to think carefully about our futures.
Yeah, totally. If we got married, I'd have to take some time off to raise kids. Wait, what? What am I saying? I'm getting way ahead of myself.
Well, it's getting late, so why don't we eat our ice cream on the way back to the
Stella's
castle?
great.
Dad and the others are waiting.
Joshua?
What is it, Estelle? Did you have more to say about your future?
Nope. Let's hurry back to the castle.
And the smile fades from his face. We're about to see the credits. A little bit more to do. Shara. Just sitting there.
What is it, Estelle? You've been fidgety all night. Got something on your mind?
Yeah. Hey, Shara. Wasn't Joshua acting a bit strange at dinner?
The only person who was acting strange was you. Joshua was as calm as usual.
Yeah, but
Aha! I see, so that's how it is.
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
No, you don't need to hide it. I always knew you were. Guess you finally realized it. You've fallen for Joshua, huh?
Oh, so you've noticed?
Sorry, but it was totally obvious. But I'm guessing he doesn't know you feel that way, right?
Yeah, at least I don't think so. Joshua's always been clueless about that kind of stuff. But I'm one to talk.
Oh, that's so sweet. The girl who always preferred food over flowers. Look at you now. It's enough to move me to tears.
That's it. I'm never talking to you again.
All right. Sorry for teasing you. But you know, come to think of it, you two met when you were just kids. No wonder it took you both a while to recognize your feelings.
Yeah, I guess you're right. During our journey, I started to notice him more and more. And once I started paying attention, I couldn't stop thinking about him. Oh, this is so unlike me.
Every bud eventually blooms. All girls go through this.
Sure.
Forgive me if I'm being nosy, but since you know how you feel about him, why not just tell him? If
Yeah,
you're still unsure,
communication is
want
key.
me to check your horoscope?
No, actually, I've already made up my mind. In fact, I already promised to talk to him.
I see. Now that's the spirit, little sis. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna cry.
Enough already! But thanks, Shara. I feel a little braver now. I think I'll go talk to Joshua for a little bit.
What?
Yay.
You're gonna confess your love for him right here, right now?
It's at the top of a castle. In the middle of the night.
No, I'm not doing that.
That's like the perfect time.
Joshua's been acting a little weird today. I'm going to talk to him about that first.
I see. Well, you do know him better than anybody else. I'm sure things will all work out between the two of you. And if the conversation goes well, you could just tell him how you feel.
Well, I'll do my best. Okay, I'm off.
Aw, first love. I hope it all goes well for them.
Huh. I don't see either of them. Come to think of it, Dad did say he had another meeting to attend. But what about Joshua?
There we go.
Joshua? Where's that coming from? I'll
We've got people to talk to as well.
never get
Only on
tired of
this
this
side.
beautiful sound. Wait, it's even clearer than usual.
Oh my, is that Joshua's harmonica? If you can hear it from here, I bet he's on the garden terrace. I can't imagine a better atmosphere. Why don't you go make your move? You could be right. Wait, no. Now's not the time. Oh dear, what a pity. She was one of the party members. He's also one. Yeah, still. Garcius is still in meetings, huh? Yeah, seems like it. I mean, Captain Amalthea and Lieutenant Lawrence are still at large. But I'm sure reorganizing the military is going to keep him busy too. Maybe inviting him for a round of drinks would be inappropriate. Still, capturing the captain is one thing. But going after that Lawrence guy is going to be tough, even for Cassius. Seems he wasn't giving it his all against us in the tournament for one thing. Yeah, he was on a totally different level the second time we fought him. They say he used to be a Jaeger, but are Jaegers seriously that strong? Well, they are seasoned mercenaries, so they're powerful, of course. But I think there's more to his strength than just that. He is almost like some kind of demon. Isn't this a great song, though? Perfect companion to a quiet drink. Professor Russell, Tita, and Agate. This sound feels nostalgic somehow. Like something I heard back when I was a kid back in the village. Oh yeah, Agate, You're from Revenue Village, right? Yeah. Agit's got a little sister back home. Her name is Misha. Hey! No way, for real? You have a little sister? The hell's that supposed to mean? Yeah, I don't go back much. So I can't say I'm the world's greatest brother. But now that this is all wrapped up, maybe it's time I went back home. What a beautiful song. I wonder who's playing it. Ah, guess you haven't heard it before, huh? That's Joshua playing. Whoa, really? I had no idea Joshua could play the harmonica. He's so good at it. I know, right? I'm so clumsy, I can't play instruments at all. I'm a little jealous. If Tita thinks she's clumsy, what does that make me? The gospel that Colonel Richard used was safely recovered. Once the investigation of the sealed area is complete, and I've returned to Zeiss, I'll need to thoroughly examine it. Yeah, definitely needs a closer look. We still don't know where it was made or anything. Indeed. Until the true nature of the gospel is discovered, the events in the sealed area will remain shrouded in mystery. Oh, this is getting me all fired up. Getting fired up is fine and all, but just make sure you don't get snatched while you're investigating again, okay? I know, I'll be sure to be careful. Do you know the gospel is currently in Cassius's possession? There's no safer place, wouldn't you say? Yeah, guess that's true. My, that harmonica is a truly wonderful tone. I wonder if I could recreate it using an orbital device. And last conversation with Matt Mercer.
Yahoo!
Omega! Hello! Yo! How are we doing? How's Tales of Celia going? Oh, isn't this little song Joshua's? He played the same melody by the lake before. He's quite good. He must have practiced a lot. Yeah, he's been playing that song for as long as I can remember. He plays other songs sometimes, but I think this one is his favorite. Nice. I see. Joshua must be rather knowledgeable about music if he knows this song. It's common enough in the Empire, but I doubt almost anyone's heard of it here in Libo. Huh? The song is from Erebonia? The Whereabouts of Light, correct? It was quite popular in Erebonia a long time ago. But, welcome readers. I'm Dark River 40, Demon Butler VTuber, likes playing video games, and we're about to finish Trails in the Sky. For the first time. We've got almost all the achievements. We've done literally everything. I basically 100%ed the game. In the Imperial Capital, it's a classic. Even in the countryside, it's still a beloved tune. Wow, really? Joshua never ceases to amaze me. Such a graceful yet melancholic melody. My heart remains utterly enchanted. Chloe should be in her room in the terrace. In the keep. So cute. So beautiful.
The night breeze just feels so good.
Now, can we talk to the queen, or is she in... Oh. Yay! There's the queen. It certainly took quite a long rest, didn't I? There will be many tasks that demand my attention starting tomorrow. I will have to part with Claudia again for some time. Estelle, would you care to join us for some tea? We also have a fresh batch of pastries straight from the oven to go with it. Sorry, Chloe. I'm actually looking for Joshua right now. Joshua? In that case, feel free to bring him along once you find him. We'll be waiting for you here. Okay, thanks. I might take you up on that. I'm extremely relieved the birthday festival ended without incident. An event like what happened with Colonel Richard must never be allowed to happen again. Royal Guard is committed to supporting General Morgan and Colonel Cassius in rebuilding the Royal Army. Seeing the Queen and Princess together like this truly makes me feel as though peace has returned. This is all thanks to the efforts of you and your team, Estelle. You have my deepest gratitude. Earlier, I had the honor of helping the Princess bake some pastries. They turned out wonderfully. Please feel free to try some if you like. That does look lovely, though. Look at those pastries. They're just bread. But that doesn't matter. Nobody else. Alright, let's go finish the game.
Oh, there he is.
Here we go.
Hey, Estelle. It's a beautiful night.
Yeah. You're playing that song again. The Whereabouts
no,
of
we're about
Light.
to put the ads.
I've lost so
Yeah.
much. But this
That's
song
good.
and this harmonica
Snooze
have always been
ads.
by my side. So, I thought I'd play it one last time.
What?
Let me keep my promise to you. I want to tell you everything about me from before we met.
Here we
Joshua.
go. Backstory.
Okay. I understand.
It's a bit of a long story, but is that all right?
Of course. I'll listen to every word.
Thank you. Long ago, in a place far away, there lived a young boy. The boy was clingy and timid, and there was nothing special about him. But because he was surrounded by people who loved him, he was happy. But one day, something happened and broke the little boy's heart. He stopped speaking, stopped eating. He spent his days exclusively playing the harmonica, day in and day out. Despite the encouragement of those around him, the boy continued to grow thinner and weaker. Then one day, a magician appeared before the boy. He said, "I will mend this boy's heart, but a price must be paid." And so the boy was entrusted to the magician. He began piecing the boy's heart back together. However, the magician shaped the boy into what he wanted him to be. And when the boy's heart was finally mended, he had become a killer. For 2 years,
Hydrate.
the boy
Thank you,
killed
Millie
people
Nixie.
every day. He wiped out entire squadrons under the cover of night, slaughtering dozens. He once infiltrated the mansion of a heavily guarded minister from a certain country and slit his throat. Sometimes he used explosives, taking innocents down alongside his targets. In time, the boy became nothing but a monster. Deeply feared by all, he became known as the Black Fang. Then, the magician gave the boy a new target. The hero who once protected the Kingdom of Liberal from the Northern Empire. He was one of only 4 S-rank bracers in the continent. But the target was too strong. Like a kitten challenging a tiger, the boy was soundly defeated. After he failed, the magician's agents appeared before the boy. The target had seen his face, and the boy had to be disposed of. But then, someone else appeared to save the young boy. It was the very bracer he had failed to assassinate. And that young boy was brought to the bracer's home, where he met a young girl.
Yeah.
The boy lived a wonderful life in that home for 5 long years. But in truth, he should have never been allowed to have that life. And all dreams must come to a close. Reality was knocking. And so his story ends. Thank you. Thank you for listening to all that.
And, how much of that's true?
All of it. It's all true. My broken heart. My blood-stained hands. The failed attempt to assassinate your father. And I've been betraying you and everyone all this time. The truth is, that boy could never have been saved. My life has brought nothing but misfortune and disaster. That's how cursed I am.
It's...
So, the boy decided to leave. Instead of dragging those who gave him a wonderful life into further misfortune, and to stop the magician who created the monster he became.
Huh?
Take this. It's the last remnant of the heart I once had. I don't need it anymore. I want you to have it. I can't possibly repay you for 5 years of happiness, but I think it's better than nothing.
Stop joking around.
Huh?
I said stop it. Don't call it a dream. It's like you're saying none of this was real. Who cares about your past? Broken heart? So what? What does any of that matter?
Estelle.
Look at me. Look me in the eyes. I've been with that boy this whole time. I know the good and the bad parts. I know he's been struggling. I know he's been fighting against something. But that's the boy I fell in love with. I won't let you go alone. You can't just leave me and my feelings behind like this. I'll never forgive you.
Aw, still.
Estelle.
Aw, yay, they kissed.
Joshua. What was that? There's something in my mouth.
It's a fast-acting sedative.
He drugged her with kisses.
Don't worry, there aren't any side effects.
Why? Why would you do this?
My dear Estelle, you always shine so brightly. I was always happy with you. Yet at the same time, it was so very painful. Like how a bright light casts a dark shadow. The closer I got to you, the more I could see how truly terrible I am. There were even times I wished I'd never met you.
Aw.
No!
But I don't feel that way anymore. I'm glad to have met you. Even if all I can do now is run. You mean more to me than anyone.
Joshua. Joshua!
Thank you for everything. And know, from the moment we met, I have always loved you.
that's
Goodbye, Estelle.
the end of Trails in the Sky. There we go. I love this indie. That's what got me hooked to buy the sequel in the original. Yay! That's the it. Ah, fantastic. A happy ending. If you're a psycho. But it is a good ending. The photo album. There's the Matthew Mercer. Yay. Young Estelle and Joshua. Travis Willingham. Young Shara. Still in school. And I can't play any more Trails games until January. This game is so great. I loved it so much. When I first began studying the Bracer Guild stuff. Memories. I love this game. I love this whole series. Oh. Masayuki Kaito. Don't know who that is, but Master Chick. Can do that. Alright. Now that we're done with Trails in the Sky, next week we're going back to Pillars of Eternity. Which... but only this part is Finn. Trails are connected. I'm not done yet. I've still got a bit more to do. Soon, a new journey will begin. Yay! I've got one achievement left to do for the game. Save the clear data for the New Game Plus and the sequel. Here we go. And this is the teaser for the sequel.
It's time. I'll do this. Karen.
I remember all of these scenes from the original.
I won't give up. Until I find that idiot again. I'll keep fighting. I'll never give up.
We're gonna see
I will
him.
bring
Yes.
Joshua back home.
Is he? Yep, he still appears in the trailer. Yes. You just don't get to see his face. To be continued. Alright. That's it. That is Trails in the Sky. Yay! All done. I literally only have one achievement to properly 100% the game. That requires a New Game Plus, which I'm not going to do on stream. I'll probably... Well, not on stream yet. Maybe in a few years when I catch up on everything else. But we're about to start the ads, so we'll just wait for the ads to run their course and then I'll go right into somebody else. But yeah, this was amazing. I love this game so much. What else is there to do? Yeah, so starting back on Monday, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled Pillars of Eternity Deadfire. We'll be working our way through that. Later tonight, we'll be more. We'll be playing some Edge of Eternity. Yeah. This game was amazing. Just wait for the ads to finish and then we'll go raid somebody. Who am I raiding into though? That's the good question. My favorite ending. One of my favorite endings. My favorite ending is in the end of Trails of Cold Steel 4. Let's go find somebody. Somebody new. Let's have a look at you, shall we? Have a look. Where do I want to? That's right. Good friend. Alrighty, friends. Alright, ads are nearly finished. Alrighty. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining me today. I appreciate you all hanging out, joining me for the finale of Trails in the Sky. Like I said, next week we'll be back to Pillars of Eternity 2. Until we finish that, then it's Dragon's Dogma 2. We'll be playing that until the end of the year, and then beyond, until I finish that. And who knows? Alrighty. Yeah, so next... yeah, thank you again everybody for joining me. I appreciate you all hanging out, sticking with it. Alright. Yeah, take care of yourselves everybody. I will be back on again in a few hours, later tonight. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.